2, 1. Lift off. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Pardon me for not looking at the screen right now. I forgot to start pieces off right here. I'm going to hear about it if I don't. So, let's get that
What didn't you start?
Restream.
Oh no!
Now it's ruined. Don't
forget to hit the record button too.
What? Record button? I gotta do that too?
Oh no.
Oh, jeez. It's all over. I should just quit right now. Hi guys, this is Jonathan Alvin, the Game Market Guru. We are here for Nycos D&D, the Friday edition known as Fellstone Chronicles. And we are light on the crew at this moment. We have at least one extra player anticipated inbound in the next few minutes. But wanted to remind you that if you like what you see, make sure you click on the subscribe button so you get the updates and the warnings of when we're coming on air with new pieces all the time. Maybe that probably wasn't a good word to use there. Warnings probably isn't what we want to say.
We don't want to warn
Updates. There's no warnings that we're coming. No.
The only warning is get prepared for the fun.
That's true.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Who?
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
No, you're saying that wrong. If it's Greenvale, it's the Spinach Inquisition.
Oh, my bad.
We're being attacked by the Spinachards?
Yeah, exactly. Spinwards. Alrighty, you also noticed a couple of cute little changes. I actually have the episode name up above there now, so I don't have to call it out, but I usually do anyway. This is The Long Way Round. And so, as we prepare to get started, I usually would do a background on what's going on in the rest of the world. But I left my news report sitting on the back of my RV. I already called Dad to have him pick it up. So we don't have our updates for this week. Apologize for that. And
we also have the new logo done by.
Oh yes, the new logo by Alex and Abigail Grigg. Between the two of them, he took the photographs and she is one who laid them out nice and put them together. So I want to thank them for that. And as you notice in the bottom corner, we are still operating from as I stated last time, the best game store in Southern California, Gameology in Upland, which gives us this really cool private room that could be rented by any games group. So if you've got a group in Southern California, come out and play at the store. We're here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So you can't have it then because we already have it. It's ours. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. But the other days of the week, you could definitely get in.
Unless we have room in our games.
What? Could there be a possibility that we could have people come and play with us here at the store?
Well, three of us are MIA. We have no idea where they went to.
Right.
They haven't talked to us.
So they
got caught in a storm.
And we do have space on. We have one more space on Sunday as well. So that's put a bug in your ear, so to speak. And so, look, it's Robin saying hello. Hey, perfect timing. Alrighty.
I like how he comes in and you go, hey, look, it's Robin saying hello in the chat, and he's right there.
Yes, Robin's saying hello in the chat. He's sitting here, so there you go.
That's Robin.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, so before we get to our story so far, we will introduce.
And Olivia's here now.
Hey, Olivia. Hey. Welcome. And also welcome to anybody who might be wandering in from our third stream that we've added now on Mixer as well. So.
Hooray!
Oh, cool. So we are everywhere, man. We are everywhere.
I've been everywhere.
That's your veil,
man. I've been everywhere.
Perfect, because I forgot to change. Watch as Wraith dons his veil.
Yes.
Looks about right.
Excellent.
Glim is so dashing.
Alrighty, so as we get started as usual, I have everybody give their character name, class, race, and let's see. What's one thing you'd like to find out during your time in Nycos? I know there's a lot that you could answer, but at least one that you as your character would want. So Glenn, take it away.
In character or person?
In character. What in this case?
What does your character want?
Right. Glenn goes first.
Glenn goes first?
Yes.
Okay. Glim will go first then. Glim is going first.
Firstest.
Well, hello everyone. I am Glim, the Tink Gnome Wizard. But you already know that because obviously Glim is the one you're coming for.
Nice. Bit of confidence there.
Yes. Well, just look at him. He's so dashing. He, Glim has not really had much of a motivation up to this point, but if he was trying to look for something in Nycos right now, Glim would probably. It's quite strange. It's quite tough. Glim is torn between him finding out where rocks from the sky come from, and just finding a good meal.
I believe there's a really good soup kitchen on Wednesdays.
Take it away, Wraith.
Well, I am Wraith Tenyason, the Hexblade Warlock. And what I would like to find on Nycos is the purpose for the Fellstone I currently have, and the purpose for all the future Fellstones we are destined to find. Especially with this new beepy thing, if I can figure out how the damn thing works.
Doink, boink.
Hi, my name is Travis Hancock, and I play Valer, the Dragonborn Paladin, and I would truly like to solidify the existence of dragons here in Nycos, because for where I'm from they weren't around anymore, which isn't good. And I'd really like to guide Snowy into her destiny as the savior of whatever she chooses to save.
Nice little caveat hedge there. That was a good one. Alrighty, so now we have to go to our story so far. There was some interesting discoveries and a whole lot left yet to. You know what's really funny is that brilliant yellow kind of hiding underneath Wraith's cloak belies a different kind of personality. If that ever came out, we'd see some very different things from Wraith.
Yeah. The shirt's more green than yellow.
Next to orange, it's not. All right, so what's our story so far? What happened last week?
Glim was drunk, so he doesn't remember.
By that he means he was restored to non-gingerness.
That's true.
He got his soul back.
Otherwise, he'd have just gotten soggy and would have dissolved in the alcoholic mess of that fluid pouring over his face.
Delicious.
Well, what Wraith remembers happening is he stayed outside the hole for the initial part because he wanted to make sure the Fellstone he carries is safe from the elves down under.
Mm-hmm.
And those elves...
that would be men at work? Oh no, those are elder at work.
And those elves restored Glim to his Nomi glory. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, we'll be soon to find. We then began traveling towards our new goal of Moria? Mariah.
Actually, Neo Moria.
Neo Moria.
We were told Mariah.
Yes.
So whatever it is now, may not be that.
No, Mariah is something in the past, though. That's right.
And that is where we were told another Fellstone would be. And here in the current village we're at is the border between Trundlespunt and there. We witnessed a trial for a Betanor we later found out was a paladin. He succeeded his trials, came out, is off to fight the Blinn, and we are now trying to find a way out of this village so we can get to where we need to go without him getting stopped by customs.
Because he doesn't have his passport.
What passport?
Exactly.
Hey Cody, do you still have that notebook I gave you on
Yeah, the little one?
Yeah. Cool.
Stick around. Watch the chaos ensue.
I'm not mixing notebooks.
Right. Olivia says this is her favorite. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. You're our favorite too. Till someone else comes along.
Wow.
But for now, you are number one.
That was so wrong. The
I'm
trick
just
is,
Well,
kidding.
get
but
rid of
I'll-
him.
I'll just up the ante. She's our favorite, and she can maintain that by going and bringing more people to join the stream.
That is also
The
true.
more people that watch, the better it is for everybody. So, all right.
Or she could just
Tie out
relax
your
and
family
watch.
to chairs and give each one of them a computer. And type in Nycos D&D.
Actually, Twitch.tv
I don't think you're
has
for
a very
justice
useful
anymore.
app that you can access from any smartphone or tablet.
That's also true. Hashtag not sponsored.
And it is interesting
Hashtag
to
trying
note.
to be sponsored.
Interesting note. 100% of the models that are currently on the table surface were painted by Mesa. Very. Now not
Well,
now.
he said
Now
all
it's
the
exactly
painted
50%.
He said all the
Said
painted
at
ones.
the moment, but you had to go and make it a temporal thing, didn't you?
I did.
in
Well,
sort of
now-
speak. Okay, now it's back to 100%. Now it's not 50.
Now
Yay.
75%.
So now 75%. Now we're down to 50%. My models are painted by Masep, and Matt Unger to my left here is our painter. So. And our technical services director at that end of the table.
Why don't you go and show,
I'm also
show
the
off in front of the
costumer
camera.
now.
Oh, yes. Well, these are created by Matt for the purposes of having crystals. There's only 2 samples. Be terrified. He's building me a field of them. But
Oh, boy.
I'm sure that'll be fine.
that'd be fine. It'll be fine. All right. So we were. You guys were just leaving town or whatever when you would run into.
We also have the prototypes for the veils.
Oh yes.
that-
Go ahead and give the. Well,
Yeah.
no. Yeah. Well, the thank. Actually, let me take yours. I also want to. If you notice, all of my players are currently arrayed in robes or clothing that represents their veils, and I'm in the nice uniform color of a small orange mountain. So. But these were provided by Travis for the purposes of having representation of the veils in stream, and we highly encourage those of you that are supportive of one or more veils to let us know. Ring out in the chat what your favorite veils are, and we'll try to incorporate nonsense from those veils in the session. So,
Please do.
so with that, we are. Did we determine what the name of this town was? Did we have that from last week?
You said
It was the
something spoon.
No, that's
Trundle
the.
Spoon is the
Trundlespoon is the nation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was.
This was it was supposed, I think, the throne or something.
There were
It's called Thron. That's right, because
There
it
were
had a
t- there were
big giant
two-
throne.
there were 2 next to each other and a border running down the middle.
Right, you're right on the edge of.
We
Oh,
were
I thought it was
leaving.
named that
We
because
we had
got
walked
thrown.
past the throne,
The
and
throne
on our
and
way
headed-
out, that's when we met the
Bethanor.
rook climbing out of the sewer.
Right.
Is it
Right.
Bethanor?
Bethanor.
Bethanor. So if you want to talk with him further, you can do that. Otherwise, we'll just continue our trek away from.
Well, I think we got all the information we needed. He let us know that.
Yeah. He had Marines. No, we were going to travel with him because he's going to.
No, we were. We asked him if he wanted to travel or if we would like to travel together, but he has a Marion steed and we don't have any kind of transportation. So he'd be going a lot faster than us.
Right.
And he also has a different mission, which time constraints. So I
Well, if we
understand.
got the giant wooden rabbit, he could tow it behind him. Or if we got a wagon. I wish we had a wagon,
Gosh.
don't we?
Gosh, we
Would've
could
been
have
nice
had.
to have
we,
a wagon right now.
Would have been nice to have a wagon.
Would have been really useful.
Yeah, and I really wish that other gnome didn't run off with our horses.
Aye, we had 3 horses.
5. We had 5 at one point.
Yeah, we did.
Great. We're not so good with livestock.
Well, that's because you
That
have
doesn't bode well
a
for
pet
a
that needs to
dragon.
be fed.
Do we have any pets here?
Okay, the gnome didn't run off with the horses. Snowy just had 10 minutes. And they couldn't say no when she asked, "Can I eat you?"
Well, no, she says, "Do you mind if I eat you?" And they all said, "Nay."
So therefore, they did not mind.
Hey, but she's learning to be polite at least.
She found a loophole. You definitely need to teach her a little better. She's turning into a lawyer.
I'm doing the best I
What
can
veils-
here.
That's kind of what silver dragons end up being. So
What veil is Snowy joining them?
No.
no, we hope
No.
not.
I'm not on a veil either. This is like silvery and some kind of lavender. But for the record, Valere does not follow a veil.
It makes him also de facto a brown veil, but he won't ever acknowledge it.
He likes to think of the platinum veil as the follower of the dragon.
All right.
He was smart. He wore the brown veil.
No, okay. So for clarification, Olivia, no animals were harmed in the filming of last episode. The other gnome got away with the ponies. There was no dragon eating of ponies. Just for clarification.
Now, if you had been here a month or two ago on Saturday,
That's a different issue altogether.
different story.
Alrighty. So you're headed out now. You formally have crossed, therefore, the border into
Hey, John, can you move
Remember
your camera a little bit further away?
further away and a little up. That's it.
There we go. See your beautiful face.
And the top, and not the lower half of my chin. That's good.
Aye, it's
Well,
great.
it's covered by a beard anyway.
I know. it's-
Beautiful.
They were looking into a brown forest on the orange mountain.
Oh, I just
The
thought it was some
orange
dark
and
storm
brown
clouds.
and sparkly mountain.
I just thought it was some dark storm clouds on the horizon.
Yeah,
It's the storms. That's what it is.
Oh,
the storm
Big,
cloud.
big
oh God,
dust
we're all in
storms.
John's beard.
Oh, no,
This
there's
is
a
simply a
legend
mole
for you.
on John's chin.
Legend
Oh,
for
dear
you.
God.
Oh man. All right. So
Look, there's our solar sun right there.
The coming of the great white handkerchief.
Great white.
The great white handkerchief. All the white girls
Well-
talk like that.
Mowage.
Marriage is what brings us together today.
All right.
Enough silliness.
Oh, there's never enough silliness, but we don't want to belabor the point. I did want to give everyone kind of an idea of where you were. You can actually see a copy of this map if you go to the Patreon account and become a part of it. You can actually get access to a downloadable version of this, so you can keep track in your own at your own pace of where we are. We are currently in the nation of Myrmidon. Over here,
It's near the coast, isn't it? Down south?
yeah, it's down south, but you're coming out of Trundlespunt, right? Yeah,
Right down south.
yeah. So Trundlespunt is right about there.
We down there.
Right there.
Going a wee bit
Give me the
further up to
stick.
near
My
Morris.
stick. I get to point things. You don't get to point things. But anyway, so we're crossing. You're actually heading back up into a mountainous range. It seems that although the Trundlespunt border is. Oh, you're going into Turkun. I said that wrong. You're going into the Turkun. Okay. Right, so crossing into Turkun. I said that wrong. So the terrain here has is slowly, gradually switching from a meadow-filled valley into a little bit more rugged terrain. Water here, the rivers have flowed into, formed canyons and such into grounds. So you might want to consider this almost be like Badlands territory.
These might not be so good lands.
No, but we're going into them.
Yes. So as you're heading in that direction, what was your objective is to make it all the way to Moria. So Moria. So you're going to want to basically follow the roads as much as you can, and as you're trekking down this pathway ahead of you, you see that you're actually following some form of a column of soldiers marching. You can see the dust ahead of you, moving away from you. So you've been traveling up for a couple of hours in the morning. It's coming up on, say, mid-morning when you see the dust at first. And generally speaking, troops of soldiers don't move exactly the swiftest of things. So more than likely you would be able to catch up with them if you choose, or you could try to circumnavigate them and leave off the road.
Is there any like animal tracks with them, or is it just foot soldiers?
No, it does seem that there are at least some cavalry contingents.
Do any of you have like a spyglass on you?
Those are expensive.
Glim could do that.
Does it work?
Kinda.
Can you
Kinda.
like prestidigitate some kind of lens type thing so we could see them from a wee bit further away?
He's also a tank. Maybe he could just make one?
Aye, make one.
I mean, we got half an hour to burn.
Stop putting your hands to your face and make a spyglass. Do it. Do it. Pure pressure.
Glim, it would be very helpful if you could try.
Because I'd like to get a look at them without being too close, if you know what I mean.
What kind of raw materials are around here?
Gravel, rocks, grass, trees, branches.
Do you have any glass?
I'm going to ask Snowy to see if she can blow on like the stream nearby or something to create as clear concave lens type ice that she can make.
Mm.
Freeze it, please. I believe in you. Just
A
not
little
too
hot.
much. Just a little bit.
Already got to make the dice roll.
I have to get out the white dice for the white
No,
dragon.
I have her dice right here.
No, it's making a point of it being white dice. You go,
I
no.
I have her sparkly opalescent dice right here.
Don't want me using the white ones for her. Okay,
No, that would be wrong.
that would be wrong.
Because that's not true.
Okay,
At all.
so roll DC 17 to make enough of a solid case for you.
Does she happen to have a
What-
plus
what-
13 and whatever?
No plus
Okay.
13. The problem is she's trying to freeze flowing water.
It just flows down the river.
No, even if she force freezes a small chunk of ice right here, it'll be rime ice because the water going by is going to have air bubbles and such in it, so she can't crystallize.
Well, that was a valiant effort. Good job, Snowy, but it didn't work. So let's just get close enough to see what color they are, or what they may be, who they may be.
So just to make sure, I didn't see any spider tracks, did I?
No, you're barking up the wrong tree, or you're spinning the wrong web, I guess you'd say at this point. That army is far from here.
Okay.
So, quick geography
I
lesson.
know there's one near the northern coast, but Wraith doesn't know
Chantra is here. The webs of the spider, the Gildan Tide are here, and we are way down here.
So it could
We can
be
make
them.
it.
So no, it can't be the Chantra Gildan Tide. Besides that, you would have heard their piping long before you approached them. As it is, you do hear the faint sound of drumming, so they are keeping time melodically as well. As you get closer, you do hear their voices, and they are basically singing the kind of body cadence songs you'd expect a trained military to fall into. Their rugged and macho natures coming out through the songs that they sing. But they're fairly monotone in their singing approach. It's not like they are trained voices or anything like that, but simply that they're keeping their rhythms for their troop movements.
They're speaking in common.
At this distance, you can't make out the actual words. You
Okay.
just figure it to be the same kind of thing you would expect in any military. The arms and armament are a combination between scale and chain, so they're fairly well armored for such a strong force. There might be 2,000.
Can we see what race they might be of?
Yeah, it's pretty evident that they're mortal. They're human. There doesn't seem to be any pointy ears among them.
And there's 2,000 of them?
Considerably large force, and they
they're on the move.
are making fairly decent fairly decent time down the road away from the border.
Hey, Wraith.
Hmm.
Do you remember which people was it that were following that stupid Pakti thing?
Which people?
Aye.
The ones we found in the Everdark?
Right, but I mean, like, what races traditionally follow it?
What races? Elves, mostly.
Elves. Okay. So if we...
Why would humans want to keep the pact?
I know that. I'm trying to find out if I can figure out what they're going after, in which case I can infiltrate and pretend to be the opposite of which they hate. Obviously.
You want to try and be more human?
No. Anyways, so do we want to talk to him or just skate on by?
It's a 50-50 shot on whether they're friends or foe at this point.
I don't like the pact, so I'm
Glenn
technically
thinks
on
we
their
should just leave
side.
them be.
Hmm?
Glenn thinks we should just leave them be. They're minding their own business. They're having fun with their conga line.
Okay.
Yes, conga line. That is exactly what that is.
It's got
Can
music.
be nothing else.
So I guess we will avoid them.
Okay, you're going to avoid them to the west or the east of the road because they're basically heading. I'm sorry, north or south of the road because they're heading basically eastbound.
Which is the way that we wish to go.
More north?
Well, you
North?
eventually want to go south. You just came from Trundle's Point, which is to the north,
Okay.
and you're eventually working your way
I
south.
got spot.
The issue is that you're in this part of the nation. You've got a mountain range between you and the south, and one way is to actually pass over the mountains, but that's through territory that you don't know if there being any roads necessarily.
Are there any particular mines that we might need to go through instead?
I was just going to say there is a large mountain range you could climb over, or you could try to pass through ruins.
Oh, I'm sure that's definitely where we might not want to go.
I mean, if we need it, I have the entire Hobbit soundtrack on my phone.
No, the other
We
one,
have to- yeah,
the
yeah,
good
yeah.
one.
I think I have that one too.
Don't we all? Don't we all? It always plays in my heart.
So we're going to go. You're going to turn off the road, therefore, and turn just south towards the mountains to try to find a pass, or do you want to continue paralleling them, running just south of them or just north of them, heading in the same direction as them? The balancing act is if you stay on the road, you will catch them. If you leave the roadway, you'll probably be parallel, and while you will make distance during the day, their movements will be much more regimented. So eventually you're by them, but there may be outriders and scouts and all kinds of other nonsense dealing with a moving military force of this size.
So how about we go diagonally away from them, and
Heading
so that
sort of southbound,
right, so that
obliquely.
right, so away from them, but in a similar direction, so that if we see that we are past the large cloud of dust they're kicking up,
Then you can head
then
back
we
to
can
the
head back to the road, or we can decide that we see a pass and go towards the mountains.
Sure.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Take the medium road.
Okay. Yeah. Alrighty. So after, well, go ahead and roll percentage dice for me.
All of us, or
Just first percentage.
65. Like 5.
Out 5?
0.
Out 5. Alrighty. Well, as you're shunting across, you hear sound of metal armor off to your left, approaching your position, and 3 horsemen come riding out. They're wearing also the scale and chain armor of the army. Also, the coloration of the armor is blue. Looks like blued steel with a banner that represents a raven on a branch of a tree.
What ho there, gentlemen? What can I do for you?
Well, they've pulled up at a distance and
Cover your ears. Not you, you dafty.
You're too short to pass as human anyway.
Daddy?
Hello.
What kind of devilry is this? What are you? Be you Lacertine?
No.
Why didn't you just say yes?
If someone asks if you're a Lacertine, you say yes!
That would be insulting to my people.
You may be
There's
right,
more
but
of
it's
you?
also easier.
That's the alarm saying, holy
I
crap,
would
there's
be
more.
a dragonborn, my dear fellow.
The one turns to his compatriot and nods. The compatriot then turns his horse obliquely to your position and raises a horn to his lips as the other two ride forward.
They found what they were looking for.
What's that for?
Oh, we have to alert our unit whenever we find anything of note, so that we make sure that we're protected as we get involved with it. So, you need to explain to us how you be dragonborn, and to which dragon do you owe allegiance.
Siren? Was that her name?
About this time,
Oh no.
what was he called? A pearlescent dragon
Opalith.
comes on back and lands next to you. She's been out hunting for breakfast.
Comes back
This
with
is
half a beer.
my ward. Her name is beautiful, and I will not tell you yet.
I see.
If any dragon I were to owe allegiance to, it's this beautiful, iridescent, totally not white one next to me.
The horn goes off. The guy blasts his horn. 3 blasts. 3 long blasts. Says, if you don't mind, please step away from the woman and her child.
I'm going to look at divine sense on them.
Mother?
What's that?
I mean divine sense on them.
Okay, they are going to be detecting as they are of good intent.
Minor illusion, big puppy dog kid eyes.
Yeah.
You'd be better off
Right,
minor
well,
illusioning your
I
giant
don't think
gnome
that's
nose
important
away.
because we're just moving through.
What do you
Nonetheless,
mean?
as scouts for His Majesty's army, I have to protect the flanks.
Which majesty is this?
And they asked me a tough question. What the hell?
Sorry.
What? Knowing names of kings?
If I don't ask you the name, I
Purple
can't
Mountains
forget it next
Majesty.
week.
That's true. You can't ignore it next week. Yes, exactly.
Glenn can't forget it next week.
That's what I said.
You said ignore.
No, he said ignore.
Shh, 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 shh.
I said forget.
It doesn't matter. You've already spoken of what you are. Could have just said that a witch turned you into a newt.
Drago Newt.
You just haven't gotten there.
Yes, it's Lord Brannon of Bailiwick.
He sounds nice.
And what business does he have with me?
Well, we are in the process of seeking out allies and spies, and you're traveling in parallel to a martial unit. Perhaps you are merely collecting information for our enemies, and so we need
No,
to...
actually, we're heading to the mountains over that way. We're heading towards the pass. That's why we were only following you behind you. Plus, you were kicking off an awful lot of smoke and dust and stuff in it. Got in my eyes.
Yes, I'm sure dragon's eyes are rather important to them.
Oh, they are.
So as they come closer, they do have their hands resting on their weapons as they approach. The third individual, the one with the trumpet, is still standing at the side of the hill, and he does unfurl a banner and places it on his lance. Just holds it aloft.
I'm going to start walking towards the mountains.
I'm sorry, I will have to
Should we
detain
just
you.
pretend to be coward?
No, thank you.
He draws
just
his
stand there,
weapon.
just like, please.
This is not
don't hurt
a
us.
request.
You just
And
came
I
out
will
of nowhere.
Pull out my hilt, but I don't draw anything yet. And say, son, I do not think you know what you're doing here. And I don't think you want to be doing it.
You can hear the sound of hooves in the distance beating against the earth as his
Okay.
reinforcements are riding this direction.
1 second, por favor.
Okay, I got his spell cards. While he's getting out his spell cards, the second of the individuals is circled
No,
slightly-
this is happening instantaneously.
No. The second of the riders calls out to you, Miss, has this beast done any harm to you?
No, he's our guide.
Emotional
Sorry,
damage.
deception.
Yeah, roll deception, please.
Thank God, I'm good at that.
Oh no.
15.
That's okay. I rolled a 3 on my insight, so
And plus 17.
Hey, wait a minute.
yeah, me and plus 17. Yeah, nice. I don't know if I can do this straight face. This is going to be bad. So
Wait. Let's make it a little more realistic.
Scratch down a little bit. Hit the button on the chair.
Okay.
There you go.
I don't think the chair actually goes any. Oh no. Half an inch.
There you go. Nice. Somebody get a camera, please. You got to get a picture of this. Set your camera up. We got to get a picture of that. I know we can pull it from the stream, but it'd be a lot funnier.
A lot funny to have it up close.
Should I go for aggressive or passive?
Here we go.
Passive
Do it again one more
aggressive.
time.
Matchmaker, make me a match.
Got
Find
it.
me
I
a
think-
find, catch
Hit it
me
twice,
a
so I
catch.
should have two. Go ahead and send it to Nycos D&D Warriors when you get a chance.
No, I like it. We got a nice regular. We got the flip.
Got you in the flip. Nice.
Cody, what do you think?
You're gonna
One or
die.
two? This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna die.
Okay, so I guess we'll roll initiative since you're about to do something rash.
No,
No?
no.
You said it was happening instantaneously, so I thought it was something you were...
It's
Because-
very rash.
Because instantaneously I'm choosing which to do.
I see.
One is rash and one is less rash.
I see.
Might cause a rash.
It itches no matter what you do.
Aye.
Okay, and
Getting that initiative ready.
three, yeah, go ahead and roll initiative.
So I'm continuing to not go towards them.
What's your plus?
Well, he'll actually interdict. He'll actually put the
I
horse's
saw him go before
body
you.
between you and where you were at.
Rolled a 6,
Sword in
right?
I have
hand,
a plus 3 as
sword
well.
and shield. From the horseback.
The child gets scared, runs away. Mommy.
Okay, so anybody above a 20? That good, huh? Okay.
Maybe I should dip into swashbuckler.
Swashbuckler, take the alert.
Five
feed.
more horsemen cross the ridge behind you and start riding in this direction. No, they're galloping, so be faster than that. Exactly.
What's that thing that Nick would do? Something like that, yeah.
Yep.
I can't do it.
Son, what's the meaning of this? Why you're being a dick to me?
I'm sorry. I have protocols and I have a military to protect, sir. I have to do my job.
What do you think two old biddies are gonna do and the dragon are gonna do?
Key word in that phrase was a dragon.
I thought he was gonna say 2 old biddies.
Look, I'm also a paladin, and you can take me for my word. I do not mean you any harm. We're just moving through.
From what order are you a paladin, sir?
The order of the great Lord Bahamut.
I
So
do not
long-
know this word. Are you a foreigner?
No, I'm one of the initiates of Nimbus.
So long, farewell, love either saying goodbye.
Stop. Stop. Just stop.
I'm bluffing the best I can, guys. Come on.
Hey, all the points to you.
I'm gonna roll a persuasion on the
There you
initiative Nimbus.
Sure.
I try not to roll, John, because I trust you.
Well, you choose to role play.
That is cocked.
Beating the numbers right off those dice.
Get better.
Minor illusion.
Off the table, reroll.
Minor illusion. The fact that he's got to count means I think it might be a little low.
Are you skilled into it?
Low enough they slip the name tag.
Minor illusion.
Nat 20.
Nice. So for those that aren't aware of flipping the name tag in Nycos in my games, if you bring a name tag that represents your character's class and race and everything, so that I can read your name across the table, then I grant you a point of inspiration that allows you once during each session to re-roll a die roll. When you do, you flip your name tag down, indicating that you've used it so that it doesn't get used twice. But you rolled a nat 20 on the second one, did you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The guy says, the Knights of Nimbus, these I've heard of. So he's a little less, skeptical, so to speak, as his compatriots come riding up. One of them responds to the other one carrying a banner by raising a banner on his lance as well. This banner has two tails, and the image on the banner is again a raven against a tree branch. In this case, with the word Rex underneath the bird. So, as they come trotting up, one of the one that was trying to get close to you says, "What ailment do you have, old woman, that you must cover your face so?"
Extreme ugliness.
You're answering for her.
They don't.
Orangeville, go for it.
Oh, just don't like the dust, dearie.
Nice.
13.
Yes, but what you've got a sword and a bow, right?
No, I have
Nothing.
no visible weapons.
Nice. Oh, a walking stick.
No.
Yes. You've got Saf
Staff is just the sapphire.
at the end. But at the end of the walking sticks, which you had before. How else are you carrying Saf? Thought it was your cane or walking stick.
No, it's just like a little.
Gem,
It's like
right?
the sapphire, and then like a little like piece of what looks like blackened wood. Basically, it's how I manifest the pact weapon. So it has to be versatile enough to manifest something out of.
So it's a handle,
Pretty much.
like a grip.
Okay. I would have thought you had a walking stick. So
It would have worked great for the old lady cane.
that's
What's
okay.
it here for?
He's holding onto your shoulder. You're the
I
seeing I
got a
know.
quarter staff.
Seeing I know.
No, you.
That's happened before.
You have an 8 staff.
It's a buck and a quarter staff, actually. But then we have to talk about the bread discussion. We've already done that. So,
I think we're good.
Ranson thinks that I stacked the dice. That dice are not random. Crazy.
What?
I know, it's crazy.
But he's rolling them right in front of us. We can all see.
Yeah. He's not the first one. Other people have recommended that we get a dice tray with a camera on it, so we have to see the dice rolls. No, I just mean you have to change the camera angle. We're not quite set up for that yet. Although, if you guys do back the Patreon, one of the things that we are aiming at is getting the extra cameras. So make sure you check out the Patreon as well.
We're also planning to get one above the table so that
So
we
you
can
can
get
actually
a top down.
Yep.
More support means it's better to view. We'll also probably fix any audio quality in the future.
No, that would require you to actually learn to talk. All right. So, After a few minutes, though, the second guy has been staring at you long enough. He goes, "You're not a woman."
I say.
Wait, are you saying you're trying to assume her gender?
Okay,
I thought
this is a roleplay game in the Middle Ages.
I thought
is
this
not-
was after the never, huh? Are you throwing us back in the iterations?
It is the now. That is true. But the now isn't this now. It's the other now. All right.
I'm gonna take a BP from you for that.
Yes, that's.
Oh, come on. I deserve one for that.
No, you don't. Chat, what do you think? Does he deserve a BP or does he deserve panelization?
Olivia, you got my back, right?
Oh, they say you're causing trouble tonight. So
I would never.
when the second set of guards come up, they 2 or 3 of them hear this conversation and go, "That's no woman. What the heck? What's wrong with you?" Dude goes, "She has such a good girl voice."
You're very purdy.
Whoa, wait a minute. Hey, I'm in my 90s
All right.
at this point.
Put the veil back on.
Right, so gentlemen, you were saying that you needed to help us on our way?
No, we needed to verify your identities and ensure that you're not a threat to
Oh, my
the
bad.
column. This one, they confer between themselves, and the one does point over to you and say, "This one claims to be a paladin." Says he's from the Order of Nimbus. The other one goes, "Oh, I heard they're badasses."
Very true, very true.
One of them, the other one goes, "Well, I think this is a time for us to test their righteousness and test our mettle as well."
Sounds great, sounds great.
Yep. So the one that was giving you grief climbs down out of his saddle.
I'm going to reach into my bag and quickly look at the yellow invite that I have.
Okay.
I have an invite from the Yellow Veil that we stole out of the wagon a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yes.
Just want to look at it, see if it would help in this situation at all.
Or make it worse.
Well, the biggest problem with it is that the dating on it indicates that it might have happened a week and a half ago.
That could be.
That could be a difficult thing. But other than that, if you flash it, might influence them. But this guy gets down and says, "All right, so your claim for paladinhood can be verified by trial by martial combat."
Sounds great. What would you like to fight with? And I start pressing buttons. Oh, great sword. Would you like a long sword? Ooh, how about a dagger? And just out of the two hands, a little dagger. Or a pike.
While you're playing with that, he goes back. He's standing next to his horse and he pulls his long sword free. Takes his shield off the side of the horse. Says, "Sword and shield will do."
Sounds great. I just put on my greatsword, don't have a shield.
That's it.
That's cute.
He says, "Very well. Who will be your second? The man that was a woman or your child?"
My lovely companion.
Daddy?
Not you, son. Well, technically, my second would be my winged friend over there, but I didn't think you'd want to fight with her.
She's shaking her head.
Good job,
she
Snowy.
She just wants some rabbit to
Fine,
watch
the
this.
dark one will do it for you. It's not gonna matter. Who's your second? And
Oh.
who's your third and fifth and fourth?
I'll only need a second. And he points up at the guy with the horn and the lance.
Great.
All right. So the others make a bit of a circle with their horses to give you a fair area for conflict.
So what's the rules here? Or if you're knocked out, if you're
Now, first blood's sufficient.
Okay. So no ring outs here.
No, we don't need to hurt anybody that badly. And if you are what you say you are, number one, if you are what you say you are, even if there is injury, you'll be honor bound to repair it. Since either you will have caused it or it'll be damage to yourself.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right. So the person that was appointed as his second does the lay on command and roll initiative.
16.
Take your first action.
So I'm going to hold my action for him to attack first.
Okay.
My action would be to attack.
What's that?
I'm holding an attack action till he attacks first.
He wants to swing at the same time.
Sure, exactly.
No, I'm letting him get,
Well, no, he'll move into position, and then he's going to feint with his shield against you. So make a wisdom check to know whether or not you think that is actually his attack.
Nope.
So just no.
Nope. It means you didn't succeed.
I got a 5.
Okay. So therefore, you see his shield feint and make your attack.
Does a 25 hit?
Of course.
Okay, so I'm gonna Thunderous Smite.
Does a 19 hit?
You mean pass the save?
No. Does a 19 hit you?
Oh, yes.
You hit the shield is what he's
No.
trying to say.
He parries the great smite.
Oh.
But I already hit.
Yes. The way a parry works is you have to have made an attack valid that would be an attack, and then he actually attacks your weapon and prevents it from hitting target.
Okay, then the smite wouldn't go off.
Fine.
Cool.
So basically, he feinted with the shield. You swung, which would have been in a hit because he was holding his action for the purpose of parrying. So he actually was intending to get you to swing first, and so
I have a question.
yeah.
How fast can I click in and out the greatsword?
Now it takes the full action. Switch
Okay,
from one to the other.
just checking.
Yeah, you can't.
Can't Count Dooku this.
Would have been
It's his
fun,
fighting style.
but
Yeah.
one day I'll get the tinker to fix it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay, so I guess
So-
it's back to me, or
Yep, it's back to you.
that is also a 25. What's the crit range on a?
Well, it's a 19. Actually, it's always a 20. The only time it gets better is I think it's
Champion fighter and
Champions.
Hex Blade's curse target.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the only time that
Both of those were 19, so I was like, wait a minute.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
crit range in 5e only modified for very specific subclasses.
Okay, go ahead and do your damage this time. He did not get a chance to parry.
Thunderous
Edition
Might.
has the 10 above like John's old system.
Yeah, but that was back when we were running second ed. And
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder where Pathfinder got it.
Let's hope that second edition of Pathfinder is now fourth edition of D&D.
no, it's
Crit
not.
is
It's,
actually really good.
it's actually fifth. They even have the 3 death saves.
That is 19 damage, and he has to make a strength saving throw.
Made it 19.
Okay, so he's not flung back.
Do you
10
see the
feet.
death save markers on there?
Yeah.
Look at the top of the page. It's the Pathfinder
Pathfinder
property.
combat.
It's like he totally were just yeah, that's working. Let's go ahead and use that too.
Yeah.
19 damage.
Yeah. Okay.
And a giant bang is heard, and he manages to hold his own and not get flung into the sky.
Mommy, Daddy, it's scary.
He returns the favor with a 23.
That hits.
And 16 points of damage.
Cool.
And he sheaths the sword.
You done already?
It's first blood. You both hit.
We've achieved a draw.
Okay, well, I didn't see any blood on me, but okay,
I just did damage to you, so yes.
that's fine.
16 is actually a fairly sizable amount, no matter what level you are.
He doesn't know how much he hit me for.
No, but I do know that it was a
16 is
hit. So.
translated.
Yeah, I am being.
You're suggesting he's dishonest.
No, I am suggesting that I'm so tough that it didn't.
It
hurt
wasn't
me.
enough blood, is what you're saying.
Right. I'm
It's
trying
not the
to.
same thing. It did
You
appear.
can take it any way you want, but my character's playing it off that he is.
We don't want to get into this, so
Yeah,
you
that,
took
that's
damage,
what
you
led
didn't take
into
damage.
a certain problem.
Whatever.
You took damage, dude.
No, you misunderstood my whole
Yes.
play.
Anyway,
It happens.
So I offer my hand to him.
he shakes.
I'll give him 10 points of health back.
He'll give you 10 points of health back.
Does it feel like my own health?
No.
Okay, just
How
check.
would you be able to tell that anyway?
I don't know. It's the same amount of health, so maybe he just, blocked it. Like he thought I was attacking him or something.
No, not at all.
You got God blocked.
Am I free to go now?
Of course.
Thank you. Have a great day. Good luck with your whole thing. I suppose you're going to fight for something.
We are supporting a not a pact.
An
Not a
anti-pact.
support. No, we have an alliance, and we are fulfilling our debt to that alliance by sending an army to Neomoria.
Oh, that's not too far from where we're heading.
Well, you might find if you're heading anywhere near where we're heading, if you're going to Neomoria, for example, you probably do well to stay on the main road until you hit the coast and go south. Going across the mountain range is rather dangerous right now. The Urgliks have moved south from the mountains.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. Thanks for the advice. We'll think about it. Maybe we'll see you around there.
Sure, and if you ever wish to align your swords with ours, I'm certain that Brandon would consider your services.
Thank you.
And they ride off.
Cheery bye. Right, well they were a bit of dicks, weren't they?
I mean, they gave
You
us
weren't
some
exactly
solid
welcoming
advice.
yourself.
Hmm?
You weren't welcoming yourself too much either.
I was very welcoming. I said hello and niceties and whatnot.
You were pretty close to just attacking them because they didn't bow down to you, it seemed.
Where does that come from?
So that way is where we need to go?
Sure.
So are you still headed diagonally to the mountains, or are you gonna?
No, I guess we'll head back to the road, but try to speed up and pass them.
Yeah, you won't have any trouble passing them because they're going to stop about 3 in the afternoon. It takes them forever to get camp set up for that large of a moving force anyway.
If we're going by,
Uh-huh.
I want to talk to that same guy. Say, oh, just by the way, dragons are mostly your friends.
That
Originally,
hasn't been our experience thus
oh, I
far.
know, but since the whole now thin never stuff, things have been a bit wacky. But they used to save the world all the time.
I'm glad you're such an optimist. That hasn't been our experience. We just recently had to put down a black that was in one of the swampy areas near the King's Realm. So.
Blacks tend to do that. It's the shiny metal ones that are usually nice.
Haven't met one before. Your scintillating one's the closest we've come to anything metallic. So.
Right, that's what my quest is all about, trying to fix that. Hopefully you'll be able to live one day and tell your family that dragons are the heroes that they really are.
As I said, I appreciate your optimism.
I'm glad. Cheery bye. On our way we go.
All right. So your second day, you're going to camp in the road after you passed by them. You said,
I'm going to talk to Glim.
okay.
Oh, wonderful.
What are you smoking about? I didn't attack them at all.
If you say so.
What do you mean? What did I do that came across so wrong to you?
They simply asked you a few questions and
And I gave them answers.
yes, you did.
All right. So, since you're close enough to the military unit, there won't be any need for no specific need for heavy guard. Are you going to be having a cold camp or a fired camp tonight?
What time of season is it?
It's still midsummer.
So
I think we should
fire
be-
would just be nice for light.
Yeah, I think we should be fine with the cold camp though.
We don't really need to cook anything, do we? We
Don't need to cook anything.
We got some nice dried meats and berries and whatnot.
Do you?
I've got rations.
I don't. Snowy usually brings me some.
I'd say
Would you like some jerky?
no. Snowy was out and about, so more than likely she'll have
Some
about a half digested. Half eaten carcass of deer, and she'll bring the rest.
She knows that
The lower
I like
haunches.
one leg, you know. Sometimes it's hard to get all the meat off of the bone, so.
one leg plus the other, plus a little bit around here.
Oh no, she likes that. That's what all the nutrition
Yes,
is.
she goes for the sweetmeats and all of that, so don't have to worry about any of that.
It's
so you
chewy.
get all the scraps.
No, well, the scraps meaning the big,
Meat.
long pieces of meat. She finds that not to her liking.
Oh, you're right. I get you.
It's a wee bit cold afterwards though, but I'm used to it.
I would imagine from an ice dragon.
You mean from a white dragon? I mean,
That was the implication.
yeah, I know. So anyway, during the night,
Was anyone
somebody
keeping
rolled me
watch?
a 12-sided.
A 12.
All right. About 4 in the morning. Who's on second watch?
I'll take second watch.
Okay. You hear a sound on the road coming from the area of the military camp.
Okay, I'll make a perception check.
Sure.
I do have dark vision. it's a 4.
Okay.
So it doesn't even matter.
So you look down the road that direction and don't really see anything, and then seemingly before you know it, there's a young woman sitting at the side of the camp beside you. I'm sorry. You don't mind if I warm myself by your fire, do you?
We don't have
Cold camp.
No, she says. She still says what I just said.
Yeah.
She's putting her hands out towards what would be the center of your camp, as if there was a
If,
fire going.
if there was.
I mean, there's no fire there, but I guess.
Ah, it's so warming. How often do you travel these parts, stranger?
Not very.
Ah, you're so wise to have a nice, brightly burning fire for
It
For me to
almost seems
warm my hands by.
insulting. You're so smart to have a fire, you know?
The more you know.
I'm gonna start building a fire.
She doesn't even seem to notice. She goes, "Have you been on the road many days?"
Just.
Would we
just a
wake
few.
up while the fire?
When he
starts
starts when he starts lighting the fire, yeah, because it's going to take him some moving around and moving stuff
Strike-
around.
Striking of the
So go ahead and make
frequency.
let's make it a 12 check. You can use wisdom modifier if you want.
Nope.
Okay, so you sleep right through it.
Wisdom
Mm-hmm.
13.
See,
Oh,
you
yes.
wake up and he's starting to rummage around fixing a campfire.
Do I see the woman?
Yeah, she's maybe in her 20s.
Oh, we have guests.
A brown robe, gray dress, a necklace with a single stone faceted, kind of like a topaz.
Ooh, topaz. We have guests. Wraith, why didn't you wake Glim? That's not very nice.
She was warming herself by a fire that wasn't there.
Who are you talking to? She says.
Oh, just myself. I do that sometimes.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Glim.
God damn it, Claire. Huh, when did you get there?
She says, have you anything to eat?
Personally, now.
Glim's got some berries.
Oh.
Are they good?
Very good.
God damn it.
Some jerky. Over in a corner, some venison, maybe.
How do you spend your nights alone like this, year after year?
Glim wonders that himself.
Well, it wasn't always alone.
But now Glim has friends.
Okay, you've gotten the fire lit, and as you get the fire lit, the light reflecting off of her seems to actually pass through her. Make a make a wisdom save.
Both of us?
Yes.
What about me?
You're still asleep at this moment. Of course, when he screams and goes running away, you'll wake up. So
10.
yes, when he screams and runs away.
17.
I will get up
Ghost!
and
She
look
shrieks and goes running away.
look at the clutching my sword. Look at what it is.
It's a ghost.
We have some friends.
You don't see it. There's nothing there.
Divine sense.
Divine sense, there's something dark and evil in this space, but you can't see her.
Hagrid.
Again, you don't see her on the grid. Matter of fact, there's nothing within several miles.
Not a hag.
Just
she's
checking.
A ghost.
It's
And,
not a
and
hag,
not
so you don't care.
exactly.
Wraith, what are you running away
He's
for?
still running. Make your next save. He's 60 feet. He's 60 feet away. 'Cause he's running plus dash, so he's 60 feet away when he.
That's
I'm so-
a 16.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for my companion. He tends to get shy around very pretty girls.
Why didn't he?
Spent 50 years.
I get a
with
wee
some
bit shy
dryads.
The
about
fire. She walks over and puts her hand on the fire, and the fire goes out.
Hey, where'd the fire
It was a little
go?
bright.
Glim, did you pee on it again?
Glim didn't pee on it that time.
Where'd it go?
The pretty lady did
He
it.
goes walking back.
What pretty lady? Have you gone
There's nobody in the
completely
camp.
insane?
By the time you get back, there's nobody there.
Like, Glim's gone too, or the lady?
More importantly, make a quick hand me your character sheet.
Ha 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 ha.
Dark vision goes to blind. Oh no, something's gonna go missing. Sapphire.
The arrow's missing.
Oh god, I don't remember what that did anyway.
It's okay. At least it wasn't something important.
Maybe it was the most important thing.
Maybe it was the least important thing.
Who knows?
We don't.
The stream knows. I'm sure they know. They always know. Somehow.
Ray, so what were you running around screaming for?
Don't Gavin Glim get you anything else?
You don't see her.
Oh, she's gone.
When she put out the fire, she just.
Oh, sorry, I thought I saw.
Who the hell are you talking to?
She was right
There's a
here.
Ghost.
There was a very pretty lady here for a while. Then she put out the flames. Then you came out and started.
She stole my arrow.
Doing
of
your-
No,
direction.
he actually woke up while she was still there. She put out the fire since he woke
This is
up.
how Glim says it.
Okay, just clarify.
Yeah, no. This is how Glim says it.
So,
He ran off because she was just so beautiful when the light came on.
so an
Sure,
early
just
start it is.
It's 4 in the morning. You might as well not sleep at this point, right?
Sun will be up in an hour or two.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
Unless it doesn't.
Or it comes up over there.
Bet your bottom
No, we
dollar.
fixed that. Well, I fixed that.
Yes.
So what was the thing?
It was a ghost.
How do you know it was a ghost? I didn't sense anything except like some strange evil presence.
Do you still sense the evil presence? I'm curious.
Do
No.
I still sense
No,
it?
his sense lasts for 10 minutes, and as soon as the fire went out, it went away.
Right? It was just a dark spot
a black spot, if you will, of bad juju.
Where's Snowy?
Put it over there, sleeping next to the venison.
I hope so.
Wrapped around the venison, more than likely. What's left of it.
She freezes it for the next day, probably.
So hard to chew that way. No, she leave it the way it was.
No, but if
she
it's
freezes
frozen,
it,
then
it's
you
a
should
venison
lick it.
popsicle.
Yes, but if she's a white dragon, that would make sense.
So-
Because
So-
they do that.
Silver dragons don't
Do you want to have to roll a new character?
Yes, because apparently
Snowy's
a white
already
dragon
eaten one
is
of
the
you.
biggest sin ever.
I mean, they're the dumbest of the prick chromatics.
No, I think blacks maybe.
No, blacks are one of the smartest because they're like conniving.
They like to hide in swamps
White
and
or
trick adventures.
Dumb.
White will bash its head against the wall because it doesn't want to fly over it.
Anyways,
Anyways.
on we go. Down the road again.
On the
Where it
road
takes
again.
us, who knows?
Can't wait
All
to
right.
get on the road again.
Choo choo. Taking off. What?
See all the places that I've never
All right.
been.
So
On the road
as you
again.
actually reach the first of the first area of the Badlands or whatever, the trail basically divides in two. One road heads southeastward, and the other one turns northeastward. Which do you?
Which was
The
direction
road
we were
clearly
We wanna
headed
go
to the direction you
south.
want to go would be southbound. So
So that one.
okay. You're traveling before light, so roll a 12-sided for me. Just one.
That'll be a 3.
3.
I rolled two.
And
All right.
It's not like it's much different.
But
Slightly better.
when sunlight comes over the ridge and you see the terrain ahead of you, the first thing you'll note is that even from here, the coast to the east of you is dark. There's a cloud bank that looks like it's stacked up over into thunderstorm range on the horizon. The valley between here and there is broken lands with, as we're still in midsummer, the basic coloring is golden brown to yellow rather than the greens or the brighter colors of spring. And the road's pathway actually in several places breaks down. It literally is that they've been going through this roadway for so long that the original wagon trail has become rutted, and they've actually created a secondary path that rides on the high spots between the previous trails. And so the area kind of becomes kind of a conglomerate of pathways.
You take the low road. I'll take the high road.
Of course you will.
We're not heading to Scotland.
I
We're
thought Glenn
always
was
heading
supposed
to
to take the
Scotland.
low roads.
You are the low road.
As this terrain changes, so does the climate. The moisture in the air pretty much has desiccated away, and by midday, the sun baking down upon you is reaching near to the 90s and 100s. Snowy is walking, but she's walking really slow and seems pretty morose about it all.
Is there any
She's like
somehow got
plodding
California.
across the ground.
is there any place that we can take some shelter from the heat of the
You
day?
could in some of there's some, as described as Badlands, there's some rocky canyons off to the left or the right of the main roadway. There are not a lot of sun, not a lot of shade, but because of the twists and turns in the passageways, you can get under some cover if you so choose.
What do you think, boys? Should we take a break for an hour or two for the sun to go a wee bit lower?
You did get an early start this morning, so that would be an argument for taking a break if you so
A wee
chose.
bit of a siesta, if you know what I mean.
Travel at night, rest during the day.
No, I just mean for an hour or two till it's not so quite damned hot out there.
Get out of the hot sun, especially a certain paladin who's wearing lots of armor would be kind of like not wanting the sun baking through.
I've worn armor in hot sun. It's okay as long as you don't touch the armor.
Right.
It's the outside that gets super, super hot. The inside actually doesn't transfer a lot of the heat.
True. Still uncomfortable as hell. All those layers though in between.
Yeah.
Get
Are you
downright
wearing
super.
And if you
Gambison.
touch it, you will burn yourself like you touched a skillet.
Are you wearing gambas?
Sure.
you know it's extremely hot.
I also don't sweat.
That's true.
That's worse.
Well, he's a
You're an
dragon.
ice dragon.
He'll have to pant like a dragon. Yeah. Mouth up and tongue out of the corner of her mouth.
Down to here.
Pointy tongues.
Are dragons warm-blooded?
They're dragon blood.
So then I'd be
They're
fine in the heat
dragon-blooded.
then.
What's that? No, they're their own species, so they don't have to worry about it. Remember, they handle the extremely high pressures of Nimbus, so normally it's not a problem. It's just that you also don't have the differentiation that they normally have, being able to cast their own water spells and such. So she's suffering.
So
from
I
that.
guess we go and take a break.
Left
in
side or right
shade.
side?
What do you think, boys? I usually try to err on the right side of things.
And
Left.
in this case, the right side would be further south than the north side. North side would be taking you basically to the middle between the two roadways.
Olivia's heading to bed because she lives on the East Coast.
All right.
Good night, Olivia.
Good night. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Thank you, and she'll definitely catch us on the video on demand tomorrow. So excellent. I'll try not to kill them all before you get a chance to see them again.
I make no such promise.
So long, farewell,
All right.
say goodbye.
Nice. All right. So now that you're back in the canyons or whatever, the first thing you'll notice is there is goblin spore in the canyons.
So let's go to the other
Goblin
side.
What?
Goblin spore, indications that goblins have camped
Settled.
here, pooped here, taken care of business here.
Let's not be near a goblin.
So let's
foot.
go back to the other side then.
Okay.
Is
So
there also goblin poop there?
That's how it's gotta work.
no. As a matter of fact, there's signs of something rather much larger. Looks like maybe a giant or two might have camped over in these ruins. And in particular, although the canyon seemed to be natural formation, within a short distance you see a looks like a cave back into the side of
We'll see
the rock.
giants coming before we would see goblins coming.
That's true. We'll hear them too.
Yeah.
Leave a cup of water out and all that.
Also, they're easier to hide from.
But what if they hide behind a tree?
Okay. So we rest for.
He's going, do you see any trees in this Badlands? No. Some scrubs, some bushes, no trees. We're safe
I
from
will
the tree hiding giants.
I will
It's a
put
giant
you
like a
in a
bush in front of his
tumbleweed
face.
and kick you around.
See
So we
if
take a
he's back
siesta
in
for
there.
a short rest.
He was saying how in older editions, due to mechanics, there was a way for giants to hide behind trees that were clearly not enough to cover.
No, it was when they first started creating feats, and a
There we
person
go.
was playing a giant, back then it was the GM couldn't allow half giants, and so there was a half giant in the party who chose to be a ninja, and specifically took a feat that allowed him to hide behind small woods and forests. So he was actually hiding behind a tree, and so it became a really bad joke about there being a whole group of storm giant ninja hiding behind the trees.
Ashley's here now. Hi, Ashley.
Hey, Ashley.
Hey!
You missed Olivia by that much. She just left. All right, so the markings here indicate that the giants might have stayed for 2 or 3 days because there's actually they got these weird cave-like drawings on the wall, basically showing them hunting what looked like a giant rabbit.
Huh. Big
What-
bunnies.
What color is the rabbit?
Well, it's just charcoal written against the sandstone
It's a
rough.
Not the great white rabbit then.
Glenn knows nothing what's going on.
I don't
What
know
else
anything
is
about
new?
giants?
Hmm?
I don't know anything about giants. I know that they're giant.
So short rest.
Yes. So short rest allows you to roll hit points if you so desire, to your dice if you want. Sorcerers get a spell point, I think.
We haven't used
Warlocks
that.
get everything back.
Wizards get half their spell slots.
So I guess we start moving onwards then.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
Onwards and through the heat words.
As you're going back towards the road, the pathway ahead of you is. The road seems to be getting a little bit easier as you're heading further into the Tirkun Badlands. And ahead of you and to your right, there is a mountain range. You basically got walked down and around the end of a range of mountains, and so you've like reached the curve, if you will. It's become soft. The terrain's becoming more rolling hills. But as you do so, you also notice off to the right, there's an increasing number of trees. Like it might actually be opening into a forest off to the right as well.
Right, well, we should probably stick to the road. That's what they said, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Stick to the road.
Stick to what we know.
Between the hills and the forest.
All right. So the roadway continues, and you have basically no real major encounters during the day. You do see a couple of animals. Hunting is fairly prevalent in the fairly easy in the area. Doesn't seem to be a lot of civilization. There hasn't been any farmlands or anything like that. And
While we walk, I will start teaching Snowy some more Draconic and whatnot.
So apparently the stream is really quiet. Like Ashley had to turn the volume really high up because she put Twitch on the TV.
Well, we're not saying much, so.
well, yeah, but if she's saying there's a problem with the volume, let's see if there's a problem with the volume.
Just turn it up just a little bit, maybe.
I got it.
Does that help?
Did that help? I turned up the gain.
You turned it up a little too high. It's hitting the red now. I turned it up on the microphone already, so.
The little white sliders will.
Yeah, you gotta hit the white slider.
Ashley says yes.
All right.
There we go.
That should be better. Sorry for the inconvenience. Glad you at least were able to hear either way. We were not talking very loudly there for a bit.
Yeah.
As you come to the next ridge and look over the valley, though, something doesn't seem right. Okay, it's pretty not right. There is a scene of what must have been a fight within last day or so. There's bodies laying all over the ground, both in the blue type of armor you saw before and in reddish colored armor. But more importantly than that, sitting in the middle of the field is for lack of a better term, a green dragon. Its large form seems to be sitting across the roadway, and it's basically chewing on a few of the corpses.
So I will stop and immediately take Snowy to the right of the road.
Okay.
Out
Gonna
of
try to sneak-
visual.
Are we gonna try to sneak past this thing?
Should we try to sneak to it or talk to it or what? You don't even want Snowy talking to it though.
Not shiny means bad, right?
Usually. Just to check, I'm gonna divine sense and just look at it.
You're going to extend
Oh yeah,
out
no,
magic feeler.
well, no. What's your range on that? I don't think you can pick it up this far
60
away.
feet.
Yeah, you're nowhere near close enough.
Okay.
It's pretty obvious. It's like biting the heads off of corpses, so it's not going to fit in the good category by any stretch.
But is it at least lawful evil?
So would you say it's like about yay size?
Not in scale, no.
Oh well, I tried.
That would be gargantuan.
That's yeah. It's
That would mean it would be an ancient.
that's colossal. I think that's beyond gargantuan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Colossus the biggest. I always get those last two
Yeah.
flipped because almost nothing uses them.
Right.
Right. So
Dragons use gargantuan, but like only Tiamat or Taras.
I'm going
uses
to
gargantuan.
do some research in the Sleeping Patterns of Dragons book.
Okay. Yeah, you find that the green is one of the most common of the open lands dragons, and they don't have really a hibernation cycle. And generally, if they are green, they've had influences from chaos sources.
Oh no, the orange veil got here first.
Yellow.
That too.
What do you think we should do, guys?
Chaos does not necessarily mean evil.
Yes, it does. In this case.
It's biting the heads off of people.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
Glim's
This is
never
not
said
a
it
good
was.
dragon. How,
Glim's just pushing the idea
So,
of maybe
on a
if we're
scale
alive,
of
it might
large
let us.
to on a scale of large to gargantuan, where is it?
Oh, it's in the adult range for dragon.
Ah, shit.
So more than two
So
level
it's-
4s and a level
Actually,
2.
it's the adult range. That's actually closer to huge.
Oh yeah.
It's above large. Yeah, it's
More than we can handle.
its body
We
length is
definitely
over, is
can't
over
take a
15.
dragon.
Its body length is over 15 feet. With its tail, it's closing in
Yeah.
on 50 feet long.
Right, so I have an idea. If you guys will take Snowy far off to the right, I'll run off to the left and I'll blow my dragon whistle over and over again until it comes to find me. Then I'll run like mad.
You think you can outrun a dragon?
Nope. But at least Snowy will be safe.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
pose
like
an
maybe?
idea.
Sure.
Well, pose it to us.
Well, this is meta.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I actually have a flask, an empty flask on my character sheet.
Uh huh.
Would it be possible to cast fog cloud into it, then cork it fast enough so that should he smash it, it creates a smoke screen?
No, nice thought. That actually would be considered an attempt at creation of a magic item. So it wouldn't. You actually can't put a fog cloud under that much pressure as a spell trigger because it's supposed to expand over a certain area.
True.
So
I was just hoping to give enough of a cover
Yes.
to maybe he can duck
the
behind
only
a rock.
only mechanical thing you could do with that would be to cast something like that into a bag of holding, because then in a bag of holding you can produce any one thing that's in the bag and therefore trigger it. But I don't think anybody in this group's got a bag of holding yet. So
Nope.
We haven't been in a city once.
So we're going to go with Valor's plan, or you got something else?
That whole person doesn't work on monsters.
That's why there's whole creature.
Yeah. And it wouldn't work on the damn dragon either.
Most of the time it wouldn't.
Hmm?
Most of the time it wouldn't.
I gotta check something.
Sure.
If we had something to offer it, that'd be great, but I don't think we do.
Little known fact about green dragons, their treasure
might.
hoard is basically servitude by travelers. They actually like to trick people into being servants.
Now that's
Not
Forgotten
necessarily
Realms
true in
dragons.
Nycos, though.
Yes, true. I don't know if Nycos dragons follow all the rules.
I'm gonna look
Any
up
of
some
them.
research in the uncommon habitations of dragons to see if there's anything else I can learn about green dragons.
Oh, good point.
Right, you have books.
I do. I have multiple dragon books.
And the fact that the key is that you found it uncommon, and the notes go further to say that green dragons are known to frequent forests more so than the plains, and so for this animal to be sitting out here in this open area is odd, to say the least.
Anything else about what it might be wanting here?
Besides food?
Yeah, I think it's just not.
Or is it
for
just biting
eating.
the heads off and then tossing
No,
the
it's
body?
eating them, but it just
Starts with the head.
well, yeah, it's just like Easter candy. You start with the head on the Easter bunnies anyway. So
You
Got a
don't
point.
eat the feet first. You bite off the ears and the head.
Cut off the ears so it can't hear
The
and
crunching
you finish
anymore.
it off.
it's harder for them to run after they've got their ears lopped off. Go ahead and make a perception check. While he's looking in the books, you're just kind of observing them. I'll give you guys a chance to
Trying
Yeah,
to
watch it.
notice them.
18 for me.
Modified 20.
Nice.
Okay. It seems like 2 or 3 times while you're sitting there observing that the dragon actually seems to try to fly, lifts its wings up and tries to gain purchase, and then almost immediately falls back to slams back to the ground. And the slam is the right word. It's like the wings buckled under it for some reason.
Does the dragon look like really fat, or does it just look like its wings aren't working?
No, it's something about its right back leg in particular.
It's chained, maybe.
Right, what happened?
Does it look injured, or can I not tell from this distance?
Well, it roars every time that it slams into the ground, so yeah, it seems like there might be pain. And so
It
you can
might
tell
be
him.
Injured. Offer to heal it, it might not eat us.
Okay, well, that'll be my plan, but I still want you guys to go the long way and take Snowy with you. And I'll talk to it.
Well, Snowy's already got the scent. She's starting to have like a conniption over there. Like she wants to go see it.
She wants to go meet it.
Well,
It's one of me.
I've told Snowy many times before that we don't associate with the naughty dragons.
Right?
And greens are usually naughty. You cannot always judge a book by its cover. But with dragons, it's usually a safer bet to do not go near them. At least till you're grown up a bit.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, she's almost irrational in her desire. So the fact that she knows better, she's like shaking her head and then preparing her wings for flight, and then she stops and shakes her head again.
So let's go the opposite direction and go back the way we came till we're out of whatever area is causing her to want to do that.
Okay. It's just a matter of the wind blowing up the pass, so you'll lose about half an hour going backwards, but yeah.
So, are there any strong-smelling herbs nearby?
Natural plant stuff. You might ask your gnome. Maybe he knows something else about the
The
local
other
knight.
one would.
The other one would for certain. Yeah.
Hey,
The other gnome that's now.
do you have any of your gingerbread left?
No.
Did you collect any of it?
No.
Then no.
What about you? You got anything? She didn't like the smell of the green dragon. I don't want her going near it.
I mean, the only thing I could think of would be wrapping my veil around her nose, but I don't know how much she would like that.
Hey,
I also
Snowy,
don't want her to tear it apart.
would you mind if we covered up your nose a bit so it doesn't bother you? The icky smell.
She says, family.
No family.
You family.
True. But he's like the family you didn't talk to anymore.
Family.
I'm going to go talk to it. Would you wait here?
Flump, flump.
Okay, just wait.
Outing.
Just wait here with her. I'll hopefully be back one day.
One day.
If I do not come back, you take care of her, or I'll find you. Somehow.
I mean, if you find me, then
Shh.
find her too.
Just make the promise.
I promise you.
Look me
How
in the
much
eye.
How much time do you want us to give you before we leave?
Couple hours.
Okay.
So I will head down slowly towards the green dragon
By yourself.
by myself.
Get more of those note cards.
Okay.
The ones in your.
So takes you half an hour to get back to the ridge, as we already described.
Just be safe.
And
This is
I will not go into visual range. I will stay behind the tree, out of his sight.
okay, but if you're out of his sight, you're not going to be in communication range either.
I will yell in Draconic from a nearby tree, so that he can't visually see me. I'm doing a hobbit then.
Okay, well, the first thing you'd have to do is get the whistle to get his attention, because you're not going to get his attention from as far away as you have to be in the trees. I already described the forest is far away. That's why it's weird that he's out here in the
Oh.
open.
Okay, I thought
He's
he
out
was in a
in-
clearing in the woods.
No, he's in the clearing in the brush of the Badlands.
So is there any way I can get close enough to not be visually seen?
You can make an attempt, but you passing through some areas where he might see you in the process.
I will try to not visually be seen.
Okay.
Nice. Sneaky, sneaky, sneak. 19.
Okay. You get within about 300 yards, so it's going to be, you have to basically shout at the top of your lungs. to get his attention.
So I'll use my draconic lungs, and I
Yes.
will shout in draconic at him. Say, "What troubles you, friend?"
In a bit of a faltering voice, the green responds, again in Draconic. There is no cause, no reason for you to be here. I will be fine.
You look a wee bit injured.
Is this Gore Teeth? Because I've been expecting you.
No, I'm not gore teeth.
Then another interloper. If you want my flesh, you'll have to strip it from my bones after I attempt to rip your throat out.
I do not want your flesh.
Then what in the name of the nine do you want?
I need to get by, and I do not want to leave you here all alone.
Dragons have no need of others. This must be... Oh, is this Finnegan?
Maybe.
Look, I told you and your kind that I don't trust you, and I wouldn't let you in my lair for all of the silver you might be able to attain. So
Okay,
you should just...
Counter offer. Counter offer. What if I were to heal your leg?
Oh, it roars. It roars. So you are here for my flesh.
To fix it?
Do we hear the roaring?
Just in the really in the great distance, you would hear dragons roaring at each other, but the smaller voice against a louder voice. Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna make it.
Well, if you stop hearing one of the roars, maybe. Why do you not want me to help you?
I am the face of the East, and I do not need any help.
Of course you don't. But I mean, one such as I may want to earn some sort of friendship with such a great and powerful dragon as you.
The voice of the East needs no friends. Leastwise kobolds like you.
Well, I'm nae kobold.
You stated as much just a moment ago when you said you were Finnegan.
I didn't say I was Finnegan, I said I might be. How do I know if I'm Finnegan or not if I do not know who Finnegan is?
Who could it be? Sir Augustus, you don't need to hide. Bring yourself out here and allow me to roast the meat from your flesh. The fact that someone taught you Draconic can only show that you are afraid of me already.
You can keep guessing all day. It doesn't mean you'll get it right.
Then why don't you just simply go, as you suggest, and leave me be?
Because I'm trying to help you, you bastard.
The voice of the East needs no help. I've said that before.
Very well. I'll wait a little bit and see if he does anything.
No, all he does is shift his weight and try once again. And you notice two things. One is when he goes to try to get purchase with his wings, it seems like something is almost like it's holding him at the shoulders. It's like the one wing doesn't quite get to full purchase.
But there's no visual change.
You don't see any physical chain. And as he tries to lift, you see his back leg is indeed bent at a really horrible angle. There's a pool of blood that he's been sitting in, and there's this thing inside of the space with tentacles wrapped around its the lower part of its back appendage, and basically pulling it to the ground. It's a black, an unearthly thing twisted in its back leg, merging his flesh with the dirt behind him.
You look like you're in a right bind. Doesn't he look very comfortable neither?
He roars again once again. He slams to the ground from the attempt.
That was a good try, though.
You should save yourself the trouble and leave.
What am I saving myself from?
You've seen it.
I don't even know what it is, though.
Neither do I. Foul thing brought to this place by those mortals.
Right bastards they are. Well, what happened?
I came across two groups fighting, plenty of horse flesh. I wouldn't even have had to interfere with them. I was going to be just fine. And then those of the red summoned that thing.
Ah, red bastards, I hate them. Always trying to control everything they are.
They reached past their boundaries for this thing. And at any rate, I was, again, not being involved in their actions when one of the Blue Veils petitioned me. God, I hate control magic.
Right, but as such a great dragon as you wouldn't have been brought down by any sort of petition.
You know nothing. You didn't see the instrument.
What did it look like?
I don't know. Some kind of flesh bag.
Ugh. Disgusting. So are you sure you didn't want my help?
I'm just trying to save you at this point from yourself. You come over here. Even if you think you'll do me good, you'll just succumb to the thing. Hundreds of men died to this thing anyway.
It killed the men too.
No, they killed each other. When they came to try to kill me, it wouldn't share.
That doesn't sound nice.
It's horrible.
Does it just got you by the leg?
Yeah, it's like it's using me as some kind of bait.
What the hell kind of thing would use a great dragon as bait?
I have no idea. I've spoken too much. You should leave.
So there's nothing I can do for you.
Unless you can find the fell caster and make him take back his magics, I can't think of anything.
Do you know who he was?
It's one of the red sorcerers. Let me think of his name. Which means John's got to look it up in a book.
He didn't die while casting it, did he?
No. Four of his priests did though.
See, you always talk to the dragons because they're always nice in some way. They're just rough around the edges.
They'll still eat you if they get a chance.
Exactly.
His name was Malicus.
Okay.
What do you look chortling for?
Nothing.
Bad guys' names always start with M in my world, don't you know that?
Mm-hmm. Except when they don't.
Except when they don't.
I think I know his cousin though.
I don't think so.
No, not Malicus?
No, Malicus is Scorn. I'm pretty sure you don't know.
Right, well, do you know which direction they went?
Yeah, they went back eastward and southward towards the coast.
Right, well, how long do you think you could last?
I'm going to eventually get out of this. The magics can't last as long as I can.
I agree with you. Well, I wish you the best of luck. If I can, I'll try to take out the bastard.
If you do, there'll be a quarter of my loot for you.
I'd greatly appreciate it.
What is your name?
You can call me Val.
And you can call me Volka.
No, where's that notebook you had? You don't want to mix them?
I really don't.
Okay, well, I'll
I
grab
can
that.
just give you a piece of paper.
No, I have other one.
Just okay, put over there. You have call for Tom Bombadil in here.
I don't think it would hurt to add it to my dictionary of Draconic anyways. What was his name?
Voka.
Voga.
Voka.
V-O-K-A?
V-O-C-A.
Woka.
It's short.
So it's in voice.
Yeah.
He
Woka.
called himself the voice of the East.
West.
East.
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 So
So
you're
I'll-
going
I'll
back up
stand-
over the hill?
I'll stand up so that he can see me. So he can see what I am.
He nods.
And then I'll turn around and walk away.
You hear him make one more feeble attempt before sunset.
So I'll head back to them and I'll fill them in on
So
what
you'll
happened.
hear the big dragon roar one more time, and then you don't hear a response.
Hmm.
So,
How long has it
but
been?
It's been a good half hour now.
Okay.
Oh, before I walk all the way away, I'll give 2 toots on the dragon whistle and wave it at him.
Far to the west, you hear another dragon cry in response.
Not Snowy.
No, yeah, and Snowy.
Okay.
And Snowy actually tries to stand up, and acts like she's gonna take wing.
I'm gonna like, try to put my hands on her shoulders. Whoa, girl, it's not time yet. He's got That's not common. I don't know what she's saying.
It's not draconic either.
It's snowy.
So I'll get back there as soon as possible.
Okay. He comes over the ridge. Not the worse for wear. Doesn't seem to have been her.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Snowy go because I imagine she's gonna go bounding up to him.
Nah, she'll take just 2 steps and stop. Kind of sit.
Right, well I talk to it, Snowy.
Puff waits.
It is family. He's not very nice though. He's really mean. But we're not. So if we can help him, we will. Not to our detriment though. Not getting friends hurt, but if we can, we will. So boyos, there was this great fight between some reds and some blues. One of the red bastards cast some sort of spell summoning. It's this horrible thing, this great black tentacles grabbing its leg, and he says that it feels like it's using him as bait. What kind of monstrosity would use an adult green dragon as bait?
Depends what they'd be trying to catch.
Exactly. What would they want to catch if they could use a black dragon as bait?
Green
I don't
dragon.
remember
Green
I don't
dragon.
remember Legion being tentacly. Saf, anything?
So the
Sound familiar
sorcerer's
there?
name was like Baranor, right? No, Malchus.
Malachus.
I asked Saf.
Some kind of sorcerer named Malachus cast it.
The only thing historically would have been clear back in one eye. And that would have been the Trollskin army. They used dragons to catch other dragons.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah, and for in particular, they were hunting dragon eggs. Gulp.
Yeah, let's steer clear of the tentacly thing.
Okay. So he said their camp is to the southwest of here, southeast of here.
Well, that's in the direction we're going anyway.
Right. So let's head down. Keep your eyes out for any reds or any blues.
How far are you going to circumnavigate to keep Snowy from wanting to go again to talk to Okay.
Not as far as I wanted to before, but far enough. Not to where it's going to add multiple days to our trek.
Okay.
But enough to where the impulse shouldn't be too bad, but she will smell them.
Okay.
But she'd also probably smell them on me if I was close enough.
You weren't well.
You never touched him.
No, but he would have been downwind because you wouldn't have wanted to be upwind because they would have smelled you. So because he was trying to be sneaky.
Sneaky beaky.
Yeah, but odds are you didn't get close enough to get any aroma on you, and he didn't breathe his weapon at anything. So
Diplomacy. For the win.
all right, so you're able to keep her fairly pacified. She's still likes the idea of trotting ahead. She's kind of learned not to go airborne because of the earlier issues. So
Did we want to take a break for 10 minutes?
what time is it?
8:50.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break, folks. We'll be right back. See you in 10. 1.
Can you cast me out?
Alrighty, we are back. Welcome back to Nycos D&D,
Woo!
Fellstone Chronicles, the long way round. And maybe we have an idea of what that actually means now. All right, so
It's funny because that was the title before we started.
I wonder how that happened. Somebody would say it might be a railroad.
It might be a long railroad.
Yeah. All right. So we are back, and once again for the stream's benefit, go ahead and give your character name, class, race, and something you think everybody should know about Nycos. And that's you as a player, not you as a character.
I am Glim. I am playing the Tink Gnome Wizard. Illusion's my game, and being able to make the words rhyme is the game is.
It's also cool.
Something that I think all players should know about Nycos, for viewers and for anyone who's actually going to play in Nycos. Those fish can really fly high.
I'm playing Wraith Tenyason, the Hexblade Warlock, and Scorn, should also mention that. I'm half Undrin, which is the Nycosian version of Drow. And something I think everybody who really wants to know anything about Nycos should know is that there's always more to know. You can never know too much because there's so much history that I think there's some stuff that even John's forgotten.
Until you know too much, then.
But there's always more to dig up, always more to find out. It's always a large library of knowledge to tap into. Sure.
I'm Travis Hancock. I play Valere, and I think what people need to understand about Nycos is that nothing is immutable. Nothing.
Alrighty, so our story at this point is Green Dragon on hills in the valley below, held to the ground by some hideous black tentacled thing that it can't seem to get free of, and some form of mystical effect furthermore hindering its ability to fly.
It's Havard's Black Tentacles.
I couldn't remember the name of the spell, but I knew what you're talking about too.
But whatever it is still to this minute holding the creature down. And the group has decided to pass around it, passing far enough away that Snowlin's ardent desire to visit her relatives is at least manageable. And as you pass by at right around dusk time, you have attained a vantage point looking farther down to the east than you could before, and you can see that the road continues to roll slightly more in a southward direction, moving away from the southeast course it's been on. But to the east, there is for lack of a better term, a monstrous ziggurat rising in the plains. Before the area where the dark clouds still seem to gather down by the coast, you do see this. You count relatively quickly 13 tiers of this monstrous ziggurat, and it takes up from this position could be better than a mile across.
That's a big old tower.
Glam, are you still wearing the rose-colored cloak?
Well,
Yes.
we haven't given him any of the clothes, so.
Yes.
Is there any way we can make that darker?
Get it muddy, dirty. Roll it around in the dirt.
Why do we need it darker?
Or redder?
Red.
Why would we want it red?
We want you to make it red. Well, getting it wet would make it darker, theoretically.
I'm just curious why.
Because once it looks
Because
more red like
we're
veil.
following the red veil.
You're going into a place where red veils are.
That did not come across to be easy. No, I was just curious, like, why are we trying to go red veil?
Don't worry
No,
about it.
no, that you're going to be passing through an area where there are red veils.
Yeah,
That's
but that's
amazing.
what I mean. Like, that's.
We know that this is where they went, and so at least if we have one red veil, one black veil, and one non-existent veil, then at least they won't attack on sight, perhaps.
That makes sense. I do not have any.
You did mention that you had a lot of berries.
Yes.
Roll percentage dice for me.
Let's see. The percentage want to be nice to me tonight. They are very temperamental usually. 6.
Yeah, they are a deep enough color that if you were to squeeze up, basically put all of them inside of your clothing, you could get at least some red splotches. You wouldn't be able to get it completely turned red, but you realize it means you also know which berries they are to go get more. If you
Is there any water nearby?
No, as we said, well, there would be, there might be in some of the water skins of the soldiers that died in the battlefield earlier, but not large quantities. As we said, they were going into the Badlands here. You're in
We
a
only need
place where
one,
there's
maybe 2. Because we can just.
It's not worth really going back for. It's just a safety precaution. If you do it, then put it all across your shoulders so that it looks like it's
Like
red,
rank.
that's faded down.
Sorry, I'm just again colorblind guy trying to
visualize
color. Trying to think, would fading usually go from the bottom
No,
up, or would it go from the top down?
What he was referring to is that if you use the darker color, you might be able to get something that looks like rank insignias or something.
Oh,
because you got such a small amount. It's
That's
not
what
enough to
you
turn.
meant. I thought you were saying like whether
I'm
it had
envisioning
faded.
like epaulets or something on the shoulders.
I thought like red on the top and then faded to pink because
of where.
who knows?
Yeah, that would might.
Either way, it gives you better chance if it's on your shoulders. That's all I'm saying.
It's easier for them to see because
True.
you don't have like a hat or anything.
No.
Although I would highly enjoy if you had the pointed red gnome hat.
Right
Hey.
now, it'd be like.
Hey, Clem does everything he can not to be his father.
Can you remove your black veil and put it in your bag?
Begrudgingly.
The non-existent veil that is in this area may not like it.
The heathens.
The what now?
He said
The
the heathens.
Well, I don't like appeasing them. I also like being alive.
Look at it this way. The less they interfere with you, the more free you are.
Give them control, more control.
Please remind me, what is Red Veil about? I'm kind of
Control.
That's why Black doesn't get along with them. Black is liberty.
In
freedom.
most towns, your law and order come from red veil, blue veil being strong. Red veil in arresting the criminals, and blue veil arguing mercy for them, true justice, as compared to governmental control. And
So, just from that vague description, Red Veil gives me the vibe of the Republican stereotype of just throw them all in jail and let everything else sort
Closer
it out.
to communism.
yeah, say yeah, closer
That's why
to.
they're red.
I get it.
All right.
So, do we want
Alright.
to go check out the cigarette? And see
I'll
if there's
try
people
for
there?
the crushed berries in the shoulders and whatnot.
Okay, and then his further question was: are you going to investigate the ziggurat, or are you just going to take the roadway which heads further south?
I'm hoping to go into the ziggurat.
That's going right in. That's literally going into the
It's
the
big enough.
lair of the lion. That's where the red veils
Yeah.
are.
It's not. I'd rather not dive straight into the belly of the beast.
Glynn's
Maybe our
willing
best-
to go if everyone
Of course.
else wants to.
It'll be fine either which way.
We can go, we cannot go.
Maybe the best way to find our caster, but
Do we want to help the green or not?
I'd like to if we can, but I'd also like to not put us at risk.
He
You
also
saw
did offer us a quarter of his hoard.
There is pay.
There is pay,
And we have no idea what could be in a dragon's hoard.
but I would also like to point out that you, a dragonborn, were stopped by the Mercy Veil and challenged to a fight. What do you think the Control Veil is going to do?
Probably nothing good.
Two,
Do you want
we
me to stay
have
outside?
Solon with us. I don't want to send you in alone again.
Then why don't you two go and I'll stay outside with Snowy?
I don't belong there either, and they are bound to find out one way or another that I don't believe in them.
Okay.
Just because, again, for the veil thing, I'm still a newcomer. and for any viewers who are also newcomers, what is the Reds' position towards Blackvale?
Okay, so black is unmitigated unmitigated growth,
Mm-hmm.
right?
It's liberty.
It's liberty. It's freedom.
Liberty and
Freedom. Think about it. It's the opposite, if you will. Control.
They're the ones that are directly opposed to each
Yeah,
Yeah, we
he
don't-
doesn't even think red exists.
Well, I just
It does. I mean, literally, it's not a color on the spectrum to a black veil.
I was just curious as to what Red's position on it was.
So red's
If it's
position is
basically
black
for-
doesn't exist. That
Okay.
person's a total heretic and needs to be taught the right way.
We go in, and it's Glim educating you.
That will go badly no matter how.
Well,
we do
orange
it.
kind of looks like control because they think of themselves as being totally in control of their own fate because
Red
everything's
does
happening.
see orange as friends.
Right.
Your call, Wraith. If you do
So he
not want
offers
to-
the red berries to you and says, "We can put this on some of your clothes, and you can look like you're learning
oh,
the
no.
red berry."
If we're going in, just squeeze it on Glim's clothes.
I don't think we should go in there. I think it's a very bad idea.
So just clarify, you're just gonna leave the green dragon.
We
hanging,
leave the
that's fine?
green dragon to suffer. Got it.
Well, it'll eventually. The dragon's already assured you he's going to get free on his own.
Can you check the Fellstone thing real quick?
Oh, the Fellstone. Yeah, you're gonna pull out your
Make
device.
sure there's not a Fellstone.
Well, now you can make it. It's a new day, so you get to make a new check to see whether or not you can get the thing to work. Remember?
76.
Yeah, it actually turns on and isn't pointing at you.
He calibrated fine.
Where is it pointing?
Towards the ziggurat.
God damn it.
Thought so.
I could be mistaken, but didn't someone mention something about looking for stones and we thought it was a Fellstone? Earlier. I thought something mentioned it.
That was the Primus.
That's the premise.
Okay, the Primus mentioned it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where we got the.
That's where they got the compass from in the first place.
No, I meant earlier in this session. I thought someone mentioned something about stones, and that was right. I could be mistaken then.
The only
Okay.
people we came across was the blue.
Yeah, the
They didn't mention it.
But I thought the Green Dragon might have offhandedly said something like they were here because of blah blah blah.
Mm-mm.
no.
Okay, then I'm
Oh no, yeah, no. I know he's referring to the troll. Warned you that the Trollkin army was looking for dragon eggs.
There we go.
Okay.
That's
No, that was you mentioning meta that in first iteration the troll came.
Ah, in first iteration. That's right.
Right. We're not privy to that information.
No, Saf told me.
Saf
that.
told him that. That's right. You're right. It was in meta, but it was in meta him talking to his
Okay.
warlock
Well, I don't know. So
patron.
every finger in every direction. Which way should we go?
Any way you want.
True orange.
is there only one way into the ziggurat?
No, you could probably circle around it and find that there's actually multiple ways in. It's a fairly large structure, and there's a fundamentally a city that's grown up around it.
So where can we hide Snowy?
Well, you've already talked to the Green Dragon once. Maybe the Green Dragon will offer offer you a place within its lair if you trust it that much.
I don't.
Does Snowy know how to make herself look like other things?
Not yet.
No.
She hasn't even learned how to cast magic because she hasn't even learned common yet.
Do we want to take a week to see if we can teach Snowy some simple magic phrases?
She's
I've
been
been doing it for weeks.
he's been at it for a long time.
Probably close to 10 weeks by now.
Coming up on it, definitely.
So
Just the thought.
what do you guys want to do?
We have to go in.
Can Glenn
But
see
there's-
the
Snorri says cave.
Fellstone?
Snorri says cave. Cave good.
Where?
Giant cave good.
Where?
The giant cave that we saw earlier.
With the charcoal rubbings?
Right. The giants had
I
On the other side
I
with the
stay
goblins?
cave. Cave good.
If anything comes at you, you just fly away. And listen for the whistle.
Unless I ask first.
Unless you ask for it. But if it's bigger than you,
Can I leave now?
If it's bigger than you or there's too many, you just fly away, okay?
There are not too many.
Just making sure.
She mutters under breath. There will never be too many.
Good
Walks
attitude.
away, chest puffed up.
Next time you see her, she'll be all boogered up. There were too many.
Oh no, don't do that. Then Papa Dragon's gonna go there.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
too many anymore.
Oh God, Dragon
Yeah.
Mayhews.
So,
Oh no.
anyway, that's one place you've been to that you know that there's at least a relatively safe place that was abandoned that she could
Okay.
hide in. How long I wait?
I have no idea how long we could be in there.
I will come out and I'll blow the whistle 3 times every day. And hopefully it won't be more than a day.
I don't know if you should do that.
Why?
Because there are other dragons in the area.
That and last time you blew it, there was a large roar to the west.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing that.
But we've been going east the whole time, so
Right.
there's a possibility that we're even further away.
I'm paranoid of the time warp thing where we go in, somehow we lose 100 years, we come back, and Snowy's basically an adult dragon, and that's the new lair.
It's always a
I mean,
possibility.
that'd be cool though.
It'd be
always-
cool!
There's always
But
that
then
possibility.
let's hope that
Also,
she
though,
remembers us.
100 years. I don't think that's enough for her to become a full adult
No.
dragon.
Well, I'm lowballing it.
Although that hasn't
How,
happened
how,
yet.
how about I come to Ridge 2 days?
Okay.
That way when you, cause if I'm at cave, you blow whistle, I won't hear.
Okay. 2 days.
2 days, and then if you don't, then every day after that, I come to Ridge.
Okay.
If you, have you magic?
What kind?
Not yet.
She scratches her ear. Walk magic?
I don't have long strider.
Okay.
No, we don't.
Just be safe.
You too.
Can I take a few moments to make the magical rune inscriptions for minor illusion to put on a page in my spellbook, rip it out, and give it to Snowy?
Okay, so you're gonna put the text of the spell.
Not the actual magical inscriptions which are needed for a wizard to get it, but the runes that possibly she could learn from.
Okay, so you're actually going to try to create a scroll on a raw piece of paper. Sure, percentage does.
She asked for magic. Let's see what happens. 4.
Okay, you
percentage.
scribble down something on a piece of paper. There's still letters on it when you get it out of the book. There's still letters on it when you fold it and hand it to her. Don't know whether it'll work or not, but she
And
has
she
it.
eats it.
Tuck it under her. Do we have a collar? Did she have a collar? Did you get her a collar? I can't remember.
Nope.
To my
Nope, no
knowledge.
collar.
I wanted to get her a necklace that has a
Brooch or whatever, like a.
sending stone on it.
Okay,
Communication. But I haven't come across one yet.
okay.
Could be a while.
So you just have to give it to her. She'll try to tuck it between a couple of scales of her ear. Hope it stays.
You can tuck it between 2 of her claws.
Yeah, either which way. She's gonna have to hold on to it though. So, okay.
Meerkat hold.
All right. She flies away at dusk, heading for the cave. On the far side of the road. You guys.
I die as best I can.
Wow. Guys, we're gonna take that as a clip. I die the best I can.
My
That's what he said.
Yes.
I heard him say that.
I'm only dying
Don't
on
we
the
all?
inside. No,
Alright.
yeah, I try and use the berries to dye the
Sure.
veil as best I can.
Sure. All right.
Do we hide your black veil?
He did. He
Yeah.
tucked it in his
Just-
bag.
Well, I'm just making.
Do you have
My
anything
clothes
that's
are
not
mostly
black?
brown anyway. actually have the clothing
Mhm.
at home.
Yeah.
My pants are black, but they're pants.
Okay.
And then
Is there any way you can hide your ears?
Not without the veil.
I got a dagger.
Not doing that.
Okay.
'Cause the
You
last
can't do anything
person-
about his skin color either. That's
No,
like that
my
dark.
hair
gr-
is
What kind of hair
white.
does Wraith have?
White.
How long?
Kind of scraggly, probably just a bit longer than mine. So,
Can
push
you-
it back.
but it also stands up pretty much straight up too.
I'm just saying, like, the tops of your personal ears are covered by your hair, so maybe you could change a little hairstyle. You know, lick it, put it down.
You can try anyway.
Yeah, I could try, but I'm also like have like the grayish undertones in my skin anyway. It's like shock
Um,
white hair.
The Red Veil
purple
doesn't have any
eyes.
trouble with Eldrin. So
we do everything.
he's
we
a
can.
scorn is scorn from there.
Making sure. It's not much more control than the Pact, and
That's true, but we haven't determined whether or not these guys even are ascribed to that, since the population of this area must be much higher for there to be as much cloud of dust that the town's putting out on a regular basis. The
Well,
city.
I guess we go up to the main entrance of the ziggurat.
Alrighty.
Hope we don't get screwed.
Since you're traveling a increasingly improving roadway, you could travel into the dark if you wished, or you can camp out since it is dusk, or near dark as it is.
I don't want to repeat last night. Let's keep going.
Alrighty.
We see her walking next to us. So how often do you visit the city?
Yeah.
God damn it, no.
Can we light a torch so
I was
that
about to say,
they
she
don't
just-
think we're sneaking up on them?
Sure.
All right, you can't see in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I can, but
No,
No, Dragonborn can't.
Dragonborn cannot.
That's not one of the gifts they gave him.
Gnomes can. Half elves
Gnomes,
can.
elves, half elves.
Half orc.
Yes, half orc.
Halflings.
either way, we don't want them to think that we're
Halflings
sneaking
don't.
up on them.
Yeah, halflings do not.
Hmm.
Tieflings
Alright.
do, but they see the shades of red.
So, anyway, you're cruising into town on the road. It's really not too uncommon. There's actually wagons going the other direction with torches on each of their four posts and stuff, and the area's increasingly populated. So you'll pass a couple of guard detachments, but they're apparently either busy on a previous mission or bedded down for the night, so they don't have any trouble.
we
Um,
can clearly see that they are red veil.
Yeah, actually, they're not so much red veil. They're using the red colors because of the king they serve, who happens to be of the red veil. But
So not
the
everyone
king
here
the
might
king
be-
is known as Erok the Great, or Eric. Last name is the family name is Fibes. You hear this just through the random people that'll talk to you as you're traveling along.
Does anyone seem to have an adverse reaction to me being a dragonborn?
You probably get quite a few gawkers, I think.
You there's a lot of gawking, a lot of.
I'm used to gawking, but
There's
frights
there's
or-
gawking. There's gawking and some whispering, especially with the fact that a couple of them would actually, as you're approaching, throw some symbols into the air as if they are detecting something about you as you approach.
But no, mothers clutching their children and dropping pots of water and
Yeah, there's
Gawking usually includes that, I would think.
Well, no, the thing is you're traveling by night. More than likely, you wouldn't be walking next to the firelight. You'd be walking back a bit to get the benefit of the light, so that therefore you're not actually as much of a forward thing as you might think. But after
What was their last name? Phil what?
it's Eric the Red.
Kalrock.
Eric Fibes.
Vibes.
It's Eric the Red.
I know, I just want to make sure I have Eric the Great in there.
Yes,
Forbes.
Fibes, not Forbes.
It's one better than Forbes.
As you're traveling along, you do notice you're being followed by a rather diminutive figure. He's actually probably a little bit smaller than you, or really close to the same height as your gnome. He's hiding somewhat in the darkness behind you, but you'll hear him skip on a stone as he's traveling. So apparently he doesn't have dark vision, but he's still utilizing your light at a distance to follow you.
Hey Glenn, why don't you sneak around and say hello to the other little guy? I don't think he can see in the dark.
Okay.
So you just basically drift back in the light until you're far enough back.
I just go a little off to the side
Mhm.
to the peripheral of the
Light source.
torchlight and circle around and I guess go behind him.
Okay. Well, the guy's got a notebook out. He's got a quill pen behind his ear,
Being followed by a reporter.
and he stops every once in a while. He's writing something in his notebook and puts the pen back behind his ear.
Is it possible for me to look over his shoulder when he's writing something and interpret, or is he too?
Yes, he's writing down things like 22:30, approaching midnight. The beast still walks inexorably towards the city. 10:45. 21:45. Nearer, still nearer, and yet no one has stopped it. Why did they let such a beast approach our town?
Perhaps it has to do with the fear.
What the hell? Puts his notebook away quickly.
Hi, I'm Glim.
I'm Kanas. Penny Nail.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
Glim.
to meet you. Yes, Glim. So, it's interesting that you've been traveling with that horrible creature for this long.
Well, that's not very nice. He's just a scorn.
Well, clearly he's scorned, but I meant the fact that he's undressed. How can you dare to stomach being near that thing? And how does he travel with a paladin so bright and so brilliant as the other one?
Well, typically with enough light, it's very easy to see.
Oh, so you're saying he's turned from his dark ways?
He can be very illuminating at times.
You're not so dim yourself.
Ah,
I write for the Star.
which one?
The one, the only, the Nimbus Star.
Ah, it's a good star.
Thank you. Have you read us for long?
I have been reading about your writing since I first heard of it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm so glad to know I have a fan. Praise be, praise be.
Ex-Sprayaholic says hello. How is everyone?
Hey, how you doing? Nice to have you with us. We're trying not to get them dead. Or I'm trying not to get them dead. Or they're trying not to get dead. I don't know what it is. Anyway.
Glim is talking to a reporter, and we are about to see how well this
Kanas.
goes.
Kanas Plenty Nail.
Kanas Penny Nail?
Plenty Nail.
Plenty Nail.
P-L-E-N-N-Y.
Plenty Nail.
Plenty Nail.
Plenty Nail.
Plenty Nail.
Glim.
No, Kanas.
Yes, and I'm Glim.
Oh, okay. Is that an adjective or is that your name?
Yes.
Glim can be used for anything.
Ah, Glim that. Hashtag new word Glim.
Oh boy, you're going to be a slang term.
Glim's gonna be the new dude.
Sorry. Surfer Bros just like Glim.
That wave was like totally Glim, man.
You got Glim dude.
Yeah, right.
Oh god, stoners need to get him.
So if you don't mind, if you hadn't noticed, I have difficulty with darkness. I happened to stumble upon this story. Do you mind if I tag along?
Glim doesn't mind. Just the big one that you say illuminates everything around him. Just speak praises to him and he'll be clay in your hands.
Just a minute. Pull out the notebook. Reminder: smooth words.
Yes.
Ex-Sprayaholic wants to know what level the party is. There are 2 level 3s and a level 2.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So not very high level right now.
And for clarification, Dragonborn, Scorn, which is half elf, and no. We hadn't figured that part out yet.
In case. Talking
So-
to a...
Halfling.
There we go.
Specifically, I'm a midge.
So that's Lightfoot.
And I am the... What's that?
Midge is Lightfoot, right? Or is that Stout?
Midge is not Quapple.
Not what?
Quapple.
Thieves.
The answer is
No.
yes.
Midges are one subset of Nycos and the other half are Quapaw.
Okay.
So just
Yes.
as the Undren and the
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
Of course, you can.
may I
join.
introduce myself, or do you wish to introduce me? If you're going to introduce me, please remember to go da 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 before you give my name. Because I am
You can introduce yourself.
okay. Very well. I am a herald.
This is Harold. You wish
Dun,
to
dun,
introduce?
dun! Greetings and felicitations from the Nimbus Star. I am a duly appointed reporter for them. Here are my credentials. He flips the book and puts it back in his pocket. Just, he had no time to read any of it.
Those
And
are very good credentials.
says, I am here to report all incomings and outgoings from the mighty city before you, known as Shudder.
It's good to know the name of the city.
And you are, sir?
I am Wraith.
Wraith. Thought you said. Okay, he's a wraith. I'm putting that down. And you are, sir? Clearly,
let me
you're
check the
clearly
spelling.
of the lineage Draconis. You are. Are you a prismatic?
He is Val Air.
Yes.
Valer the prismatic. Excellent.
Do you happen to know where the Red Sorcerers might be?
Oh, the sorcerers of Shudder are many, and their purposes and causes are beyond our comprehension. We simply serve our masters as necessary, and in my case, mine happens to be a really cranky editor named Gus.
We're looking for a
Why is Gus
particular.
cranky?
Always having to hit deadlines. That's the main problem.
We happen to be looking for a sorcerer by the name of Malchus.
Well, Malachus more than likely is probably, if you say he's a sorcerer, more than likely he's part of the Royal Wizards Academy. So you'd probably have to check with them. They allow all sorts of magus. So
Where could we go and check that?
really, the academy is on the south wall of the ziggurat, but there's many different places where they are hosted. So I really can't give you a specific at this point.
Thanks for the help.
Sure. Mind if I share your light since you are still traveling by night and I need to get home before deadline tomorrow?
Of course.
Sure.
No one wants to stumble in the dark.
You're telling me my left foot hurts like crazy. There's a big rock back there.
How unfortunate.
So, why don't you smell right?
He bathes.
No, I'm not suggesting otherwise, but it doesn't smell right.
What do you mean?
Well, the dim light suggests you might be Eldrin, but that hair looks more Undrin.
Well, I am what I am, but what I am doesn't define me. It defines what you see me as.
Oh, a poet and a brigand. All right.
Anytime he writes.
Yeah, that's what he's right. Poet and brigand.
Yeah.
So, what brings you to this part of the country?
Just traveling.
Are you joining the revolution?
Not that I know of.
If the rates are good.
Oh, you haven't heard?
Mm.
Oh, those of the second Genesis are declaring themselves independent of humanity.
Is that a good thing?
I wonder if that's where the bull went.
You'd think for
Probably.
Red Veil with the control that might not be a great thing.
Oh, you would be surprised. It's so much easier to conquer when your enemy's forces are divided.
True.
Though technically they would not really need to. Just because they're different doesn't mean they're going anywhere. They probably just don't want to be under the laws of the pact. And in that case,
I'm sorry. What's this pact of which you speak?
don't worry about it. I'm sure you'll hear about it soon.
Oh. Well, We've had enough troubles of our own. We haven't had to worry about external forces for quite some time.
What troubles?
Lucky you.
He points at the growing storm on the coastline. You can see flashes of lightning now. It's after dark.
Does this look
What's
like...
interesting is that the storm's flashes of lightning aren't necessarily just straight bolts like you think of here on Earth. Instead, there's whorls and spirals and veritable
Well,
grape shot explosions of
a
light.
few advertisements eat at...
No, nothing of that.
Branding hasn't reached the skies yet.
Mhm.
Well, that's
At
when
least not in this city.
that's when you have enough money to just...
It is
Hey,
from a
Mother
book of
Nature.
Homer. This is actually Nycos. It's a world that was created over the last 45 years. We are in currently what is called the Now, after the 7th time I've run this all the way from end to end. So it's all on Nycos. For more information, I'd recommend you take a look at Nycos_adventures.com.
Nycos Adventure.
I'm sorry, Nycos Adventures.
No underscore.
No underscore. Thank you. I probably led people the wrong way last week then.
Well, no, 'cause I got
Nycosadventures.com.
that earlier. when I
It's
was
linked
asking.
in our Twitch description.
Okay, yeah. So if you
Perfect.
look there, and also our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Nycos, has some information as
And
well,
our Discord as well.
and our Discord as well.
So it's all
in the
linked.
Discord. You can talk to us.
Yep.
Yeah.
We would
And
happy
we got,
to
I've
fill
got
you
at
in.
least one of my associates has a screen up right now, so I'm sure we'll keep track of what's going on. So you're anyway. He says that our biggest problem has been that he points at the storm beyond.
What's it been doing?
In
Oh,
meta,
it's
does this look
increasing.
like one of these storms or a different type of storm?
It looks similar to the one that you guys have run in before,
Okay.
but it's massive. It's
Oh, it's even bigger than
it's
usual.
like it's the entire horizon line.
That would be unnerving.
So towards the southern coast.
The eastern coast, yeah.
Coast? Huh.
The east is approaching.
And the other thing of note about this storm is that he tells you it's only happened since the 12th day of Never. That's what everybody's basically collectively calling the days that the sun went the wrong direction. So this storm's formed after that.
Very interesting. Has it gotten any closer recently?
Nope. It's been coastal the whole time, and it's just getting increasingly violent looking. We haven't, our forces actually haven't entered the storm, but several of the mercenary divisions were sent in by the Mercanian forces, and they've not returned.
Does the storm touch the land, or do you need a vessel to get into it?
I wouldn't know per se that the forces that were sent on foot. So here in the city, I'd recommend you look for a place to stay. You don't necessarily want to be on the street at night. There are press gangs that are looking to send martial forces in, and you might end up getting caught up in one of the impromptu drafts, shall we say? And
Where's a good end to stay at where they will not go?
he says, "Well, they won't. It. The press gangs will not enter any of the inns within the city. That's sacrosanct. You're protected by the agreements between the traders' guilds and the military that they won't interfere with the traders' business. So you'll be safe as long as you're able to afford your stay and all of that. The most common inns on this side of the town you might want to check into would be either the Silver Dragon or the Green Dragon. The Silver Chalice or the Green Dragon.
Green
I-
Dragon?
I think we should go to the Green Dragon.
Sure.
And when you get there, it's an image of a dragon, but the dragon is actually only called green because it's the image of it is kind of like a silvery dragon or metallic dragon, but it's clearly not able to hold its liquor because it's got a mug in its hand and it looks like it's getting sick.
Fun.
The only brew for the brave and true comes from the Green Dragon.
Exactly. You, you guys even know the song for that.
There be many eyes to
Alrighty.
I don't know the full song.
So you're in amongst the buildings now. He'll basically be able to point out where the Green Dragon is from here. He says, if you ever need to talk to me, he says, that fourth building down on the right, the 2-story one, I'm on the second story. Remember the name. Plenty Nail.
Gotcha.
If we ever need help, there's always plenty.
Great. So we go into the end.
Okay. As you walk in, the place, it's fairly quiet because it's pretty late in the evening since you've been walking about half the night. The innkeeper is leaning against the bar, almost like drifting off himself. But when you walk in, the Dragonborn does draw a gasp from one young woman sitting at the end of the bar. She's clearly already fairly well tanked. She's maybe 40, 45 years old. Pretty rough looking woman. She's got the way she's seated on the bar, her dress on the one side cascades where she's got a slit at the side of her dress, but you see she's got a cutlass on her left hip and a knife right at her garter that you can see through her skirt that's to the side.
So we go up to the barkeep.
We'd like to get a room for the night. Or two.
Looks down. That'd be 2.5. Looks like to me. No offense.
2.25.
That offends me.
As it should.
Yeah. So that'd be 4 silver. I'm sorry. 40 copper.
Glim will cover it this time.
Fair enough.
And how much are drinks? And how many?
What did you slip across the bar? 40 coppers specifically, or did you?
Well, 40 for that.
So
And then I ask how much are the drinks.
Oh, he says. You get a complimentary in the morning. Usually, people take advantage of the hair of the dog. It's a pretty good anti-alcohol propagator. And then we do have beer and ale by the flagon, mead by the pint.
Do you have a top of the morning?
Beer and ale by the flagon.
No, we don't carry those pagan drinks here. But that's yeah. The issue is that it doesn't use enough purple to be justifiable, whereas purple's the primary drinking source we have here for our curatives.
Great. Got any water?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some non-purple water.
How many people
Sure.
are in the bar?
Right. At this moment, the woman and you guys, and the woman is still staring at you.
What time of night would you say it is?
3:15 in the morning.
Dang.
How much would a small cask of water cost?
Nothing. I just give you the cask. The well's out front.
Thank you.
Might want to fill up
What's
our
the lady drinking?
skins in the morning.
Oh, she's not. She's a smoker.
Ah.
She's smoking burble.
No,
Smoking
she's
peace pipe.
no. She's smoking. I think it's the long leaf. They ship it in from head in my head and it just dropped out. From Bailiwick.
Every time.
The Shires of Bailiwick are some of the best known sources of the material.
Of course they are.
So how long do we think we're going to be here? Just one night?
Probably only the night.
I'm gonna ask the barkeep
Sure.
if he knows anything about Malik.
Malachus or Malik? Was it Malachus or Malachus?
Malicus.
Malachus. He goes, heard the name. Kind of a no nonsense dude. Straight shooter. Pays his bills.
We found some that is on the road. Has his name on it.
Oh. Well, your probably best bet is to talk to the union in the morning.
Where could we do that?
Straight down, you'll come to the marshaller for the military, and there's a union office right there.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
I'm gonna head up to bed.
Yeah, same. It's late.
The guy says, "Excuse me, my lord. Would it be possible for me to ask you for a small favor?"
Depends on what it is.
He goes, "Just a minute." He goes behind the bar, brings out this. He's molding this thing of clay. He says, "I just want a tooth impression, if you don't mind."
A bite mark.
That's a wee bit personal, don't you think?
Well, I really can't ask you for a tooth. That would be presumptuous. All I would like to is to make a copy to say that I was here when you arrived in town.
I'm gonna do an insight. I fail.
So he is trustworthy.
That's what he
No, it just means that he's not certain.
Let me think about it. I'll tell you in the morning. I'm very
Alrighty.
tired right
Well, okay, but I won't be on in the morning. It'll be my daughter, and I was kind of hoping to surprise her with it in the morning.
Oh, that's so sweet.
now. How about you don't tell your daughter I'm here, and then I'll come out and surprise her myself.
That might be a very dangerous thing. Just so you know, she's a big fan of your kind.
Dangerous for
Good
you.
girl. Well, I might be able to think of something better. Just let me think about it on the night.
All right. Thanks for at least considering it.
Of course.
All right.
I'm not gonna have anybody take impressions of my teeth and then make a metal contraption and bite someone, say it was me.
Wow.
A little bit of a
Would
reach.
somebody even consider such a thing? I can't believe you'd even. Oh gosh.
Seems like a bit of a stretch to me.
Is it a bit of a stretch, John?
No.
Why do you think I said it the way I did? That would never happen on Nycos. All right. So
No such thing as a trusty anybody.
did you buy any alcohol? Did you buy the beer? The small beer is only 2 copper.
Yeah, I was more or less just going to be having a fun night if the inn was actually a little bustling, but if it's...
It's
It's
3:15.
Yeah. Last 3:15.
Last
You walked
call
in
was an
hour ago.
I know. And that's why we've got a
Are
smoker.
they even legally allowed to sell alcohol anymore? Wouldn't there be a curfew in especially in a red veil town?
I mean,
Well, yes and no. Remember, it's not a red veil town. The leader is of the red veil. They're forced to wear those red veil clothes. They don't necessarily.
Some of them would
So
probably
it's a
like
red
to be...
veil in name alone.
Out here at this end of the. Remember, you're out on the suburbs, so
they're
Yeah.
rhinos. Red in name only.
that's really funny. I have models. Sec
So-
gen rhinos.
I will go to sleep, and I will put. I will put my brace of arrows behind the door, so if it opens, it'll knock the arrows over.
Okay. You guys go up and crash too.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that my bag, that I'm sleeping like holding my bag. I don't want nobody messing with my special little boy or girl. I don't know what's gonna pop out of this thing.
Glim sleeps in the nude. If someone comes in and wakes him up, they gotta fight a naked dome.
He hangs
Jokes on them. Your AC's the same awake or asleep.
Exactly.
He hangs his cloak on the outside of the door, so everybody knows.
Alrighty then.
All right.
If you fight Glim while he's naked, you gotta fight a bully club.
Okay. Wow.
Let's not.
Wow. All right.
No, not even close.
There aren't any problems with the night. You guys sleep clean through. It must be almost 10 o'clock by the time you guys actually wake up after crashing. You find that kind of odd until you realize that somebody cast a silence spell outside the doors of the rooms to give each room perfect silence so that people going by don't interrupt. Of course, it means that you also can't talk to each other until you physically open the door, which breaks the spell.
Is there a window?
There is. Currently it's closed.
Okay, I will look out the window.
Okay. You see bustling traffic and stuff going on down in the street. Soldiers moving hither and yon. Wagon loads of cargo also moving. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Not 20.
Of particular note is a little two-wheel wagon, one of those little like a charger. It's not quite a
Handcart?
no. It's being pulled by a steed, but it's not a.
It's not a chariot, right?
Well, it's two-wheeled, so it's a cart,
Yeah.
but it's got a spring load, almost like a rickshaw, but it's being drawn by a
That
horse.
was the word I was thinking.
It's like
I
a
was
Fiddler on
thinking
the
that.
Roof cart.
Right, just a little two-wheel cart.
2 wheels.
And as it goes by, it's full of irregular shaped boxes, and across the side of it you see A&A shipping
Okay.
on the side of it.
That doesn't mean anything to me,
no.
maybe.
If a cart breaks down, is there gonna
I
be
know
a-
that they're
a-
popular in
a-
Tenerife, but that's about it.
Cart repair.
Is that
I know they're popular in Tenerife, but I don't know
right? Just-
anything nefarious about them.
no, just mentioned it, and
Nice little lower world spread.
you also see a group of pachyderm people, basically elephant section,
Ooh,
go by.
what are they doing?
Well, there's a one that's a little bit more boisterous than the other, who's kind of like trying to push his way through the crowd, and his 2 or 3 elderly matriarchal females walking behind in a single line, moving their way through the line inexorably and ponderously forward. They're wearing various colors of blue, from brilliant powder blue all the way to near the edge of the indigo
They sound like
spectrum.
they're from the savannah, near Savannah.
At some point, you might have heard something of a southern dialect.
Some of this vernacular.
No, we're still in the silence, so
That's
complete
right. So you wouldn't-
silent
That's right.
motion picture.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's so
Just see them walking
thick,
by.
we could hear it in silence.
no, but they do have the funniest thing is that each one of these pachyderm females is carrying a well undersized parasol,
Oh God.
trying to keep the sun off of their top of their beautiful heads.
The very top of their hairless heads.
Right, and using it with their trunk to hold.
That makes it even funnier.
So
Yeah.
I guess we'll
I just
Get
imagine
up,
like one
pack
has like a little
our stuff
tuft,
back up,
just a
double
little
check that we have
curly tuft
everything.
on
Look.
top.
Yeah.
Little tiny-
I wear my dragon whistle around my neck,
Right.
and out we go.
As soon as you open the door, it's inside of a noisy inn. It's not even. They don't have like insulation or whatever. So stuff that's going on downstairs, you can hear right through the floors. The ground's fairly vibrating with the amount of noise of crashing dishes and stuff as people are still getting around down below.
Glim offers to buy breakfast.
I'm gonna pull out my dragon coloring book,
Okay.
and I will take out one of the smallest dragon pictures
Okay.
that I've sort of colored in with like a gold crayon type thing,
Mhm.
and
It's
then
a gold Crayola. Oh jeez.
no.
I will
Destroyed the city.
see if
The
the
city's dead.
innkeep or his daughter is
We'll
there.
afford to do it.
Okay. Well, wait, when you come down
That
the
was
stairs, the room goes completely silent as you're on the stairs. And everybody turns and looks, and there's whispers back and forth.
Is there a daughter that's excited to see me?
Not initially. You're looking around, feeling a little uncomfortable with everybody kind of looking at you like that. But
I
after a
would
few
never
seconds,
feel uncomfortable with all the attention on me.
no. Anyway,
Perfectly at home.
after a few minutes, there's a peal of laughter and this very, very boisterous rattling. Basically, like half of a rat, half of a person, comes running towards you. She's got a paper dragon mask that she's wearing, and it's also colored gold.
Adorable.
And
Right, so
it fits over her little prognathic nose just about perfectly, and so for half a second she's frighteningly dragon-like as she comes swooping across. She's got a little cloak on, and she's holding onto the front edge of it, and it's
Trying to make it look
it's
like
tattered
wings.
at the lower end because she's not really wealthy, but she's running. She's got this
Trying to
holding
look
it
like
up where she's-
wings.
Yeah, exactly.
So I suppose you're the little girl that's a fan of dragons, eh?
I am.
Well, I have something for you.
Who are you? I never seen one like you before.
I am Valer. I'm a dragonborn. The dragonborn.
Oh, you're so pretty.
I am indeed.
You're gonna stay with me forever because I got promised one.
No, I can't stay forever, but I do have something you can keep forever.
Ooh.
It's a picture that I drew especially for you.
Oh, that's pretty. Can I touch your horns?
Only if you're gentle and just for a second. And I'll kneel down and let her touch my horn.
Of course, the place is still pretty much silent. You guys have gone over and started like filling your place with breakfast because nobody's in your way right now because they're all staring at the dragon.
Oh my god,
we're
the
used to
Dragonborn! Just go to the buffet, just
Take
take
it
it
out.
out.
Apple pancakes.
Some actual,
Hideous syrup.
holy crap, some steaks.
She touches your horn. And she goes, can I give you a gift too?
Sure, what is it?
You ever been kissed by a princess
Open up a
before?
water skin.
I can't say that I have. Divine
course it's-
sense.
Okay. She just wants to give you a kiss.
She detects as child.
Let's make a check.
It's just that activation. Is she?
Oh,
Innocent child.
yes, she's shining as brightly as innocence.
Then I give her a hug.
Oh, that's so sweet.
He's-
So sweet.
Okay, and then I get
Everyone
up and
keep
I go
looking.
and pat her head. I say, "You keep believing in the goodness, and I will go get food."
Yep. She goes running away. She goes, see, you could have one as a pet like me someday too.
Hey, wait a minute.
It's okay.
You just know she's just
She'll have
different
a
medicines.
pseudo dragon one day, and
Glib is laughing.
I'm
over
sure
at
she'll
the
take
buffet
great
table.
care of it. I am over breakfast going to take out paper out of my my books
Mhm.
and just read it like a newspaper and look.
Well, it's really funny because there is a newspaper sitting on the.
Oh no! I have my own. I'm gonna look at the Hagrid
Okay.
like
Yeah.
it's a newspaper.
Yeah. There are 3 in town.
Woo!
Any
Last time
nearby?
we saw 3, Glib got turned
Um,
into a gingerbread man.
They all seem to be
Oh,
triggering
well,
as being inside of the ziggurat.
But I meant like within the area.
Okay. I'll fold that up and put it away. Glad I checked.
I'm actually gonna check the newspaper, see if I'm in it.
You are
Oh boy, what's it say?
9th page, just a
I'm-
column, and basically all the stuff that I was writing last night is in there almost word for word.
Am I in it?
Hidden.
You're town famous.
No, there's not a mention. There's not a mention of you at all.
Darn.
At least you're loved
Oh.
by children.
By the way, there's 3 hags in the ziggurat.
Wait a
So
minute.
it doesn't bode well for them being nice to us. On the other hand, once we get the Fellstone, we could just blow it up.
Don't mention anything we don't need to.
I'm keeping my voice down. If anyone
Yeah,
hears
he's a
me-
dragonborn. He doesn't ever speak too loudly.
If
It's
anyone
a
hears,
Scottish dragonborn. Never speaks too loudly.
if anyone hears right now, I'll just cut their head off. It's fine.
Right, you're chaotic. Good.
Alrighty, so after fine breakfast. By the way, the lead story, the front page, if you will, of their little newspaper,
Front and center.
pretty much. No, it talks about the how fares the war against Tirkun and how the intent is to capture one of the Storm Wardens if possible.
How does it go?
The way it sounds, the way they write is very oblique. It's like they don't want to talk about what's actually going on up there. They're talking about the plans they have for what will happen when they succeed.
I keep hearing about these storm wardens, and they keep popping up in places we are. It's weird, isn't it?
I'm gonna search through
there
the
any
newspaper to
details?
see if there's any talk of dragons and or Malchus.
Yes, there's 2 different articles in the paper. One of which is a bounty upon the head of Voka, the voice of the East, and also a reference to a ocean-bound dragon type that's been raiding along the coast.
Dragon type.
Okay.
You know, they don't describe it much more than wings and breath weapon.
Which is
It's not my dragon type.
which is
The breath weapon, fire.
One of 3.
It's like half of
No.
our fire.
it's like 2. Really only 1, but
Red, gold, brass.
gold is the only one that naturally lives in water that has fire as breath.
Doesn't mean they have to naturally live in water, though.
Also doesn't mean that it's a Nycos thing either.
True.
Doesn't matter. It's in the ocean. It can go to hell and die.
He's not going into the ocean.
Fair enough.
I
We have
don't
to go
believe the
back
ocean
like
exists.
If
That's
it's a
his
good
bail.
dragon, I don't have to worry about it. And if it's an evil dragon, I'm sure something bigger. will
Wait.
eat it
No,
eventually.
there is no ocean.
Sure.
It's Nycos. There is no ocean.
You're
Yeah.
afraid, but Travis, you're afraid of the blue sea. This is the Red Sea. We're good.
Actually, all the seas are Red Sea.
True.
Exactly.
Reminds
All
me of
water is
blood.
red.
Lots of blood. Anyways, off to the ziggurat. Well, off to the office, military office, where I was told to go inquire.
Do we want to go check out the
So,
news
uh,
offices?
While we're outside,
Sure.
I kind of want to check the little radar, see if it points more towards the storm or more towards the ziggurat.
Oh, right at the ziggurat.
Okay. Yep, that's just making sure.
Make Glim see.
I mean,
Last
I
time
don't
we
know.
had
Last time it
results.
changed.
And perhaps it'll change to be more accurate on certain details.
Okay,
Give him
so
a shot. We already know it's in the ziggurat. What's the worst that can happen? Maybe
Right.
it'll get
Blow it
really
up.
big this time, and it'll
And
show
then
us
Glim
exactly
dies.
where it is.
yeah.
Exactly. What's the risk?
What's the worst that could happen? We could lose it.
We could lose half a man just because Glim dies.
Wouldn't be the first
He'd
time.
say more like a quarter.
That's what he said. And Glim takes offense to
Yeah,
that.
he didn't say it this time.
Not this time.
I mean, it also wouldn't be the first time Glim died.
Anyway,
Like sixth.
you guys
He
tag
happened
you
to
guys tag along with him when he goes to meet to the military because he's looking in
Yeah.
for Malachus.
I mean, yeah, I gotta.
Okay, so when you get to there, the military establishment is basically a little stand with sign-up sheets and
Oh, while we're
recruiter
heading over,
posters.
I
I'm
want to
gonna
check out
ask
what they have in
Glim.
the open.
Glim,
Hmm?
are you able to make small, worthless objects?
Glim is able to make
It's a
small.
tank.
Glim is able to make intricate, wonderful little baubles.
Is it prestidigitation that allows you to make small
No,
things?
he has that as a racial ability.
Yeah.
Tank.
Right. Can
So
you
long
make
as I have
me,
the materials.
Can you make me a ring that has Malchus on the inside?
Like,
Which
just
is etch it.
engraved?
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
that might be a better job for a jeweler. Glim
No,
can
no.
try.
You've got no. He's making a trinket. He just wants you to make a trinket.
Oh.
A worthless
Glim needs to get
trinket.
some supplies.
Travis, let me see the chat.
It's EVK.
Yeah, I know. She just posted something wrong.
Yeah, she was introducing X-Spray about
What's going on?
your story of DMing. Basically what you said earlier.
Actually, giving some more details.
Nice.
Just that you played D&D before it was released with one of the creators, and you've been making this world ever since.
Yeah.
Specifically, Dave Arneson.
Yeah.
Birthday on October
So yes,
1st.
Glim
We
just
doing
needs
anything
to get some
special for Dave
materials
Arneson
together,
Day?
and then he can do anything.
No, we're definitely doing
that he
something for
wants.
Halloween this year.
With enough time,
Oh,
Glim
boy.
could possibly make a spyglass.
So what can you make between here and when we get there?
Lintwad.
Roll percentage dice.
Well, because you need Tinker's tools, and I don't have Tinker's tools right now.
And you just say that he goes and buys you tinker tools. He's got cash.
42. Okay, the dice are being a little nicer now.
That is the answer to everything, so you can literally have a wish.
Not quite.
You know what
I like
happened
that.
last time you gave him a wish?
It was a good try, though.
Never.
Gave who a wish?
You.
You.
He never gave me a wish.
He's making a joke.
I know.
Okay. So you're able to cobble together something to that's got Malachus's name on it. That's all he was wanting.
I'm making one of those little spinner rings.
Sure.
You know, the ones like how the D20s are.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Looks
So-
great.
So, when you get to the place, like I said, it's
Hopefully it's
two
spelled
basically
right.
two small tables, recruitment posters on the wall, two soldiers in full dress uniforms, stock still, and little challenge, poke the badger kind of challenge if you want to mess with the soldiers. And then there's also a schedule of things that will happen during the day, including martial challenges, so you can try to play it being a soldier, because they're clearly trying to recruit the youngsters or whatever. And next to that is
God, I
one
don't
one
know
individual
what
has got a large book, and he literally is writing down each person that comes up to the counter, writing down information about each one of them. They're not actually signing anything. He's simply taking notes. He clearly is a person who's sort of, if you will, in charge of the area, but no one's actually directly talking to him.
I will talk to him.
Of course you will.
Because
Say-
they have to become an
say
actual.
you are-
Hey, I'm looking for Malchius.
Well, actually, we gave you
Malchus, I have a Malchus. I have a Malchus Norn.
Is that the right one?
So many name I've got even close to it. Who's looking, and what's your purpose?
Well, all I know is I've got some of his that he's gonna want back.
Oh,
Found it on the way here. Must have dropped it.
okay. Well, I will. You can just turn it into me, and I'll make sure he gets it.
It's kind of personal, and I'd like to give it to him himself.
The craftsman worked very hard on it. Glim could tell.
Well, the best I can tell you is that he's going to be shipping out on the Johnsville in 2 days. You might catch him at one of the portside bars before then, or you might be able to catch him at the monastery. But,
Where is the monastery?
oh, it's at the end of the road before you get to the dock ward. There's a small cloister building on the right hand side of the road.
Thank you. I'm gonna
Certainly.
watch what he writes.
He writes, Abomination stopped by to talk to Malachus. Need to talk to Malachus.
Sounds fine to me.
Is he talking about you or me?
Me.
Yeah,
Or you.
because you're not at the table at this point. He's the one who spoke.
Doesn't matter. They'll all die eventually, anyways.
Hmm.
So I will go down to the monastery.
Okay. As you get to the monastery, let's see what time is it. It's
About
10:10.
10:10.
We'll do the monastery next week, and we'll start there.
So should I just kill him?
So.
I mean, that would.
Thanks everybody for watching and staying with us for the episode. Make sure you catch our other streams on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. ish, and Sunday at noon, or 1 o'clock rather. Also, we'll be doing the Nycos Insider series on Mondays at noon, or 1 o'clock, actually at 1 o'clock. So, see you then. Talk to you later.
I'm Glim signing off.
Wraith out.